Fellow Falcoholics, what is up? Welcome to the Falcoholic Lives Falcons vs. Jaguars preseason week 3 watch party. I'm your host, Kevin Knight at Falcoholic Kevin, joined as always by my co-host, he's Adnan Ikic at Say Which Way. Adnan, how are we doing on this fine Friday night?
I'm doing well, I will not lie. I am the reason why we're starting late. Um, yeah, finished work, hit the gym, had some food, and then I took a longer than anticipated nap.
Yeah,
So yeah, I am feeling refreshed, however, right
that's
now.
good.
Up in the
We're gonna need
shower.
it. Yeah, we're gonna need it for this full preseason week 3 action we got going on here. Probably gonna have to watch the Falcons' second string guys get a full half. Or even if I don't even know if we'll see second string guys, like, to be honest, but it does seem like everyone is dressed, so there's at least some mild intrigue around that. But it doesn't seem. I would not expect to see a lot of Falcon starters tonight, folks. I know that's probably disappointing, but Raheem Morris doesn't seem to be terribly interested in playing starters in the preseason. And we'll definitely talk about that tonight. We'll get into a lot of topics, including the depth chart and the battles to watch, and the game itself, obviously, when it goes. Not too much coverage of the game itself, just enough that it's legally different from play-by-play. Technically a watch party tonight, as you guys can see by the title, clearly making this a watch party. But we got lots of good stuff for you tonight. Before we dive into it real quick, before the game gets going, let me bring you a word from our sponsor, BetOnline, folks. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football, from the preseason NFL true degenerate gambling that is the preseason. Again, suggest you hold off on that, but you do you. College kickoff, however, is coming. That's a little bit less degen behavior, so probably would nudge you in that direction. But again, this is not betting advice. This is simply just telling you where to go. And BetOnline's got every stat. They've got every matchup and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And if you think you know your stuff, you can get in on BetOnline's new winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. And when the game's over, head on over to BetOnline's new online casino, where you can get in on blackjack, poker, over 150 different kinds of slots games. So what are you waiting for, folks? Head to that website, BetOnline, today, or use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50%. I forget what the new promo is. I don't think it's 50% welcome bonuses. It's some kind of free bet thing. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but there is a promo. Use our code. Get in on the action. BetOnline. The game starts here. All right. Adnan, the starters are dressed. I know this is what everyone has been asking about. Do we see the starters tonight, Adnan? Yes or no? Because you are the
Very doubtful.
harbinger, the arbiter of this decision, clearly. So
Very doubtful. I think it's just Raheem Morris getting him dressed to, emulate that pregame and emulate the whole, all right, we're going to do our pregame routine, and then anyone who's actually going to make the roster isn't going to play.
yeah, probably. There's a few battles to keep an eye on that we're going to talk about. I think the sort of third, fourth running back, sort of whatever you think, whichever one you think Avery Williams is, that's one.
The Jags starters are playing apparently, so
Yes, apparently up to a half. So
it may be a bloodbath. So
well, we'll get to see. Really, there's no downside for the Falcons, because if they look good against the Jaguar starters, and it's like, oh wow, the depth is really good, and if they don't, it's like, well, it was against the starters, so who cares? So really, these guys can just go out there and try to play without a ton of pressure on their backs. But yeah, I mean, we mentioned it. I think the places to watch, obviously, the running back spot, Jason McClellan, Sarah's first of his name, Carlos Washington Jr., and Spencer Brown, actually, who kind of was better than expected, I think, last week on only a couple days of practice, had a healthy yards per carry average as well. And then they're showing highlights of him now. Chris Blair, can Chris Blair do enough to make the team think, oh, maybe we don't need to go out and get another receiver on the waiver wire? Maybe Chris Blair is actually the guy for us. And yeah, I mean, any other battles or other things you're watching at this stage? I mean, there's not a ton of roster spots up for grabs in reality, but
no, not really. I do want to see. Well, we watched Natrone Brooks the other night, and he was, I think, the best player off the defense. And I want to see if he builds on that, and if he sort of kind of convinces the team that they can't cut him, or that they cannot put him on the practice squad. because if he plays like that again, then I feel like it'll be a very difficult conversation within that, general manager's room or GM's office between Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris about Natrone Brooks because I feel like the better he plays, the more difficult that conversation might be.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and it seems like honestly, like like the team was wanting to keep Kevin King because of his great first preseason game to the point where they basically like didn't even bother playing him last week. Um, but I think there's more of a conversation now about Natrone Brooks. But the thing about Brooks is like last year, Natrone Brooks was a safety for this team, so he played a lot of safety in college. So it could be that Brooks is just like the extra DB they keep. And it's like whether it's corner or safety or whatever, they just kind of keep him as the extra guy. Maybe that's his path to the roster, particularly. And thanks to people for reminding me that they've actually, the NFL actually updated the IR rules to where you can actually place two guys on IR, like short-term IR at final cuts. They don't have to be carried that first day or whatever. So they don't actually have to keep DeMarco Helms that first day and then like put him on IR the next day. They could go ahead and put him on IR if that's what they wanted to do and maintain his season still. So that could also be a pathway. And we've also seen Natrone Brooks like getting a lot of work on special teams. Like he's been one of their main return guys. And not a lot has like come of his special teams reps, but like still, I mean, it's good that he's able to get involved in terms of the return game as well. And yeah, I definitely think that one, and maybe there's a battle brewing between like Micah Abernathy and like Dane Cruikshank for that last safety spot, or like that sort of thing. So I don't know who's all that invested in that particular battle, but I know.
Not even more invested in that battle. I don't know what we're doing here,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I mean, that's a big one. But I mean, maybe the more important one is like who's the interior guys that like aren't gonna make the cut because on the defensive line, because it's like the team has more or less like benched Contavious Street like from playing the preseason, which kind of leads you to believe they plan to keep him. But if they do, it's like they're gonna probably have to carry like 7 interior guys to keep him and Brandon Dorlus. Who like Dorlus hasn't even played badly. It's just like there's so many guys ahead of him. It's tough to keep him, and then you've got another rookie in Zion Logue, who's like, what chance does he have to make the roster? Even though he's looked pretty good in the preseason, so I
I think
think
Logan
like
is going to be a premier practice squad guy just because I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
any teams know about him like that. Um, yeah, I think he's someone who would survive being on the practice squad, so to speak,
I
because
certainly hope so. Yeah,
as we know, anyone can claim those guys. And yeah, I mean, we know it firsthand. We claimed Storm Norton off of New Orleans' practice squad, and
yeah,
it's been happily ever after so far.
yeah. So that kind of stuff can happen. You do have to risk guys at that point, but that I think is probably the most hotly contested. And then can like special teams player of the preseason D'Angelo Malone make the roster? Are they going to lean with someone maybe like Damone Harris, who has kind of been quietly having a good preseason as well? Obviously with Matthew Judon ending up on this team, the like sort of extra edge guys are going to have a tougher time certainly getting involved at this point. So yeah, there are a lot of small roster battles to keep track of, I guess would be the easy way to put it. I think at this stage, not likely to see much else other than that, which is a good and bad thing, but it looks like we're going to get the kickoff here. How far ahead are you, Adnan?
Well, they've had the kickoff.
They just kicked off, or like how far
No,
ahead?
they haven't played the first play yet, but
Okay.
Heineke just broke the huddle for the first play.
Okay. So you're probably like 10 seconds ahead of me. That's much better than it was with NFL Plus. So that's not too bad. It's better than it has been. So
I was also thinking of maybe getting some NFL Plus this year, not for the games, but for Red Zone.
yeah,
Because I feel like I think what was it, $15 a month for it for Red Zone?
it
Is
was
what I
something
saw.
like that. Yeah. So
Which is reasonable, and at least there is an offering. Heineke's first pass was incomplete, not very accurate. At least there's like the you don't have to have cable to get red zone anymore, which is a big victory.
Yeah, yeah, that is nice for sure. Yeah, that was a bit of an interesting play on first down where they had a 4 receiver bunch at the bottom and then threw it to like the singled up receiver on top, who did not get any separation. That was Casey Washington. So, again, this is extremely vanilla play design. The Falcons haven't really been using much motion. They haven't really been using much play action. Although last week there was a bit more. They're going to use motion and play action probably at pretty high rates this year. So, yep. And there's a off-target throw to John Fitzpatrick again.
Fitzpatrick should have had that.
I mean, he should have had that, but that that
it was like a little over his head ish, like not real. That one hit him in both hands. Like Fitzpatrick needs
he had
to
to
catch
like
that.
jump in the air, which when you're 6'7" and you have to jump in the air, I don't know. I mean, yes, like it's not entirely Heineke's fault, but he didn't have any chance for like yards after catch with that. Like he would have to like jump and land, and then I mean, and I guess maybe it's John Fitzpatrick, so you're not necessarily expecting a lot of yards after catch anyway. But yeah, so not a inspiring start to this one certainly. Well, never mind. I say that, as the pass is completed to Casey Washington for like 25 yards or something. So, never mind. Just, forget everything I just said.
Casey Washington, nice catch downfield for him.
Yeah, no, nice play there.
Yeah, it looked like he ran a little post route
Yep.
and got in between the corner and safety.
Yep. Looks like I imagine that's going to be a hold on the Falcons' offensive line there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was between Ronald Darby and Andre Sisco. It's going to be refreshing because there are going to be names that we actually, are familiar with
Yeah.
on the Jaguars team. Not that we're like totally blatant and oblivious to all the names because I mean we track the draft and stuff, but these names are like okay,
yeah,
like we definitely know these names.
No, I recognize these Jaguars players, like that's for sure. So, obviously, a little bit of Heineke did avoid that sack pretty well, though. I will say on that previous play, so good for him. But I think there was a hold involved as well. But yeah, now a little bit of a tougher time here with the 1st and 20 coming for the Falcons. But we'll see how they dig out of that. And 1st and 20 run, don't enjoy that. Not. I don't know. I feel like 1st and 21 is maybe worse than a 2nd and 10 run on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. We have to run the numbers. We have to crunch the numbers on that one. But
yeah, I don't think either one's very good. But
yeah. It's this is extremely vanilla. Like there's not really anything going on here. So, all right.
I mean, Heineke's looking good avoiding these sacks. Man, the O-line's getting. Yeah, it's not great for the O-line.
Yeah.
But Heineke's they've done a good job letting him. He's done a good job running for his life. I think that last one was Jeremiah Ledbetter getting a hit on him out of Arkansas.
Yeah. No, nice little juke move by Heineke in the backfield and able to get positive yardage out of that. Yeah. So this is about what you expect to see from your second string offensive line going up against starting defensive line. But we'll see how this continues over the course of this quarter. Pretty tough 3rd down coming up, it looks like. So we'll see how this one goes. That was I don't know what was going on with that one. That ball was nowhere near the intended receiver. So,
in fairness to Heineke, though, like
yeah,
the pressure was on him.
It was definitely in his face. Yeah, I know like if you watch like the QB school last week, they were mentioning that some of these receivers, these UDFAs in particular, are running these routes at college depths when they should be running them at NFL depth. So, that especially those crossers. So it could be a case of that crosser was cut 2 to 3 yards shorter than it should be, just out of habit, after running it that way for probably 3 or 4 years for these receivers. So I wonder if that's a part of it, as somebody's running the wrong depth on these routes, but could also just be the pressure. because there's a lot of it. So
I mean, I feel like they're like sacrificing Taylor Heineke to the Wolves right now. Like, all right,
yeah,
we have to play this game out. Go out there and just try not to die.
they're giving him an opportunity to try to turn some heads and get a backup quarterback job somewhere else. I think so.
Uh, I mean, that would be nice to get maybe a sixth rounder for him.
Yeah, no, I think that's what they're hoping for. So we'll see if it turns out to
They're not
work.
really setting him up for success, though.
No, I think they're trying to like. I think yeah. I mean, I don't think they're willing to like play starters to make Taylor Heineke look good or anything like that. But yeah, yeah.
Even though
Carl Thomas, Younghoe Koo does need to make his kicks. That would be nice. Apparently, Koo has like not missed a kick in practice like since last week's game or something. So, um, that at least is encouraging. But hopefully, we could translate that to the actual stadium.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this would have been a nice chance to play some starters against the Jag starters. But we've hashed it, we've rehashed it. We're just talking in circles at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Adnan and I believe that the preseason is practice and you should let your guys get live reps and that sort of thing. Raheem, to his credit, has like made it very clear where he stands. It's not equivocating or anything. He thinks it's evaluation. It's for checking out the guys at the bottom of your roster, and they don't really see that much value in it versus the potential risk of injury. And like Adnan and I disagree and think it's important to get people live reps, but credit to Raheem for not like hiding from the question. He kind of just came out and was like, "Yeah, we just don't really think the preseason's important, and like it's an evaluation tool for us, and we think the joint practices and the live game, the live scrimmages are what we need, and that's what we're gonna do." So, we know the answer. That's his answer. You can agree or disagree with, but
I
it's kind of what
mean,
it is.
it's
So,
it's his decision, and he's gonna live with the consequences of it, good and bad, right?
yep,
Now, my thing is, if the team starts out really slow, then yeah, I think he's gonna be very open to criticism
yeah,
for not because it was the same thing. It was the same way we sort of treated Arthur Smith, right? Like he's when the 2 years when he sort of benched the starters, the team got off to a shaky start. Like last year, sure they went 2-0, but it was very it was not a very convincing 2-0. It was a 2-0 where you had Jesse Bates sort of bail you out against the Panthers in week 1, and then week 2 where you had where you beat a very beat up Packers team. In 2020, they just got like absolutely destroyed by the Eagles in week 1.
yeah,
Very undisciplined. But yeah, I mean, it's at the very least, I guess they will be healthy going into the season for the most part if nobody gets hurt at practice. But yeah, it's every coach has their philosophies. You have other coaches who have the same viewpoint as we do, and you have some that don't, and everyone has their own sort of taste to the preseason.
yeah, yeah, and that there like to be fair, like there are benefits to not playing guys. Like the chance of injury in a preseason game is higher than practice. That's pretty obvious. You're getting full contact and all that stuff. And I think the value of the snaps in the preseason is also higher in practice. That's my personal opinion. Raheem doesn't agree with that. He thinks it's more important to protect his players. So, you know, that's his decision. He's the head coach, and we can disagree with it, but I appreciate that it's not like we're wondering like, oh, is there something going on, or like, what is happening here? Like it's pretty clear the answer, so I appreciate that at the very least. But we're gonna get to see these deep reserves of the Falcons going up against some starters here. So again, good opportunity for evaluation. Certainly, I mean, thanks Jaguars for playing your stars. Honestly, like it's better for these guys trying to make a roster that they get this tape against starting caliber opponent essentially. So, I think it's good stuff. I think hopefully we'll see them not get completely embarrassed. I mean, I don't think we're expecting a whole lot, but maybe guys like Natrone Brooks, like you said, maybe they can make some noise here. So
Yeah, I mean, so far it's going as you'd expect. A couple plays
yep,
in.
yep,
Um,
pretty much, yeah,
yeah, Travis Etienne is sort of eating right now. The Jags started off with very poor field positioning because of a unnecessary roughness flag on the punt return. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I just saw the next first down play, and while it worked out for the Falcons, there was a gaping hole for ETN had he handed the ball off.
Yep.
Like, I mean, like, that was a gaping hole, like, between the guard and the tackle. I feel like ETN would still be running right now if that was a handoff. But it was an incompletion instead,
Yeah,
so
speaking of Natrone Brooks right there, breaking up the pass. So opportunity obviously for Brooks to play against some starting caliber receivers and get some tape out there. A real
and a flag, flag. Jaguars backed up 5 yards. Now, would it be smarter to take the second down and 10 instead or to go for the first and 15? Um, okay. This is not I think we've seen enough.
we've seen enough. Yeah.
I think we've seen enough of this game so far. I think it'll just be a lot of this because,
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
yeah, Brian Thomas just like sort of gashed the secondary. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
it's this
nice
isn't
for
this isn't good.
yeah. Nice, first round pick against nothing but, third stringers and depth guys is those Brian Thomas stonks are going to go crazy after this game for all those all those guys
Nobody
drafting
stonks
after
should be
this.
going crazy after this
Yeah.
game for the Jaguars.
You know
They
it
will.
will. You know it
Oh,
will,
yeah.
Adnan. Yeah. Now, that was actually like a nicely designed little play there too. I think there was like a rub route downfield.
They're
So
opening up the route a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Playbook a little bit. Man,
yeah.
God, it's gonna be a rough night for the Falcons.
They're just running like basic like cover shells and like like not really any blitzing, and it's pretty simple stuff. So nice tackle there by number 43.
Lucas Dennis, I think. Is that Dennis
Who is that?
43?
Oh, it's Anthony Johnson.
Anthony
It's the
Johnson,
corner.
yeah,
Yeah. No, Dennis does wear. Dennis is 41.
one, I think.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah, Tommy Togai with a nice body
Mr.
tackle right there.
Mr.
You know,
T, Tommy Togiai.
he dismounted from the guard, released very well, and just stopped the run in its tracks.
Yeah, good stuff there.
Or from Hank Bigsby, fantasy darling last year, who was
I remember the Tank Bigsby hype going crazy last year.
it happens every year with
It
some
does.
like backup
Somebody.
running back that has no business being hyped up, but the dynasty
Yep.
community does it anyway. The
Yeah.
other big one for me that I remember last year was Sean Tucker, I think.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean Tucker for
It was
Tampa
Sean
Bay.
Tucker. Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, like he was going to overtake Rashad White,
Yep.
and
Syracuse
because
alum Sean Tucker. Yeah.
yeah, Shanta, because I think he was like a 7th rounder, but if he didn't have a condition, he would have been a 3rd rounder. So that was everyone's reasoning.
Yeah.
Um, even though Rashad White was a 2nd rounder, but
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
ignored that.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of flag on this one. It might be a hold. I guess we'll
No,
see.
it's on the Falcons.
It's on the.
Yeah, it's a roughing the passer. It's a Tom Brady rule. That was I think Milo Eifler who went low.
Yeah. Yeah. You really can't touch the quarterbacks in the preseason. They'll definitely not allow that. But
By the way, does anyone remember that like Monday night game where like Trevor Lawrence just was not given a cart and just like walked off like fully under the like when he got hurt and he was out for a few weeks and everyone was like, get the fucking cart out. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, what are you doing? Yes. Yep. All right. So first red zone snaps of the game. Exciting stuff, Adnan. At least this clock is running a little bit on this drive.
Oh,
That's nice.
thank
Love to
God.
see that. Yeah. Yeah, other than those first two run plays of the game, this like third string run defense actually doing a pretty good job. So for now, you didn't say anything after I said that, so it's like, oh great, maybe the next play they just immediately get destroyed. But
Well, they didn't get destroyed.
okay.
6. I'm kidding. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not
They didn't
that
get
good.
destroyed. They just got decimated. Yes.
Yeah. No, Kevin King with a hell of a tackle
Yeah.
in the open field on ETN.
Yep, yep.
Oh, he may have saved a touchdown right there.
Yeah, I guess he's playing safety. At least that's where he's lined up on that play. Um, yeah. So yeah, nice little run there as he comes flying in from. Let me see where he's like. No, he's lined up at like single. Like he's back there as like the free. Yeah, nice tackle. Just gets enough of him to get. And Etienne's one of the fastest running backs in the NFL, so that's an impressive uh, play there by Kevin King. So good stuff. So the Falcons' third stringers take the Jaguars to 3rd and goal. So
Oh, they lost.
and then they didn't. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
that was as far as they got
yeah,
there. Yes.
Evan Ingram touchdown. His
Yeah.
stomps are also going to go up from
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Actually, pretty decent coverage there by Kevin King again, but Evan Ingram actually a really good player for sure. I feel like Evan Ingram perennially underrated tight end. He's mostly a wide receiver, but like he's technically a tight end. So, yeah, Ingram
Yeah,
just destroys. Who is that? Jaden Price on the outside with that get off. He just completely fails to press him
yeah.
at the line.
Ingram's one of those guys where he's, I think, in that third tier of tight ends in fantasy football. So it goes, it goes Sam Laporta and Travis Kelce, and then after that, it goes down to the guys who are not on that level, but are still very, very important parts of their team's passing offenses, even though some first options, most not. Dalton Kincaid, Trey McBride, Kyle Pitts is in there. I think Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, I think, is still the first option over in Baltimore. And then I think Engram is one of those guys who is right in the tier after that, where if you don't want to take a tight end in the first like 6 rounds, Engram's a decent option in like round 7.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the guys I would target in that range. Think he's a pretty interesting guy and just been a very super consistent fantasy player. So, definitely think he's a good ad for most teams in that range. You'll get like better value out of him than a lot of these depth receivers and stuff like that. So, um,
Yeah, it's I do wonder if the Jags keep this up, because or if they're like, all right, this went way too easy. Because it really was easy. Like,
it was
sure, the
pretty easy.
Falcons
Yeah.
got the 3rd down, but yeah, that shit was so easy.
Yeah. Other than that, like, I mean, there was some like decent plays by the Falcons defense there, but yeah, ultimately it didn't look that hard for the Jaguars. So, um, again, to be expected. I think if the Falcons third stringers are stopping the Jaguar starters, they probably are going to be panicking a little bit. So, I don't necessarily want to do Jags fans like that. I mean, it'd be nice for the Falcons defense, these guys to get like at least a stop, here or there, but I wouldn't hold your breath on that. If they can just provide some resistance, again, we saw some good plays. Guys had opportunities to make some plays against these starters. That's probably what we're hoping for, really. But yeah, poor Jaden Price there got absolutely worked by Evan Ingram on that route. He just got destroyed. That was a beautiful release package there by Evan Ingram. That's receiver-esque stuff for sure. So, because he's really a receiver. I mean, he's like 230 pounds. Yeah.
Ingram was a former like 1st-round pick, remember, out of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Man, that Ole Miss team was very talented.
It was a good team. Good team back in the
I
day.
think they had that Vikings wide receiver who didn't end up really working out, but
Oh yeah,
was
Laquan. Yeah.
Laquan,
Former Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, former Falcon legend Laquan Treadwell.
Yep.
That's the team that beat Alabama. They beat Alabama twice in a row, but I think that was that year when they had I'm going down memory lane right now. They had Jim Kelly's nephew, and he had that like insane play where the snap just like went up, and he just like turned around and just like fucking threw it anywhere, and it went for a touchdown.
Yeah. He was like the fantasy MVP, like when Evan was like simulating the season that year because we were worried like there wasn't going to be a season. Like Laquan had like 12 touchdowns and like he had like 1,000 yards and all that.
We're about to start writing that shit up. You know,
in the third quarter of this game, we're gonna start working on it. All right, nice return there by Natrone Brooks, by the way. Got out past the 30. Oh, shit, John Fitzpatrick just hurdled somebody.
Hey, he's trying to get back into the team's good graces.
Good stuff there. That's fun.
You can't get hurdled by John Fitzpatrick.
You can't get hurdled by John Fitzpatrick.
No, like, you know, this is this isn't Bijan Robinson hurdling you. Like that's understandable.
No, like if a 6'7" tight end hurdles you, that's pretty much, you know, it's an indictment right there. So. Man, Taylor Heineke keeper. They do not hit like whatever they said about like keeping, you know, guys protected. Like that does not apply to Taylor Heineke. They're just like running QB keepers with Heineke in the third preseason game. So just, you know, throw all caution to the wind, I guess. You can't trade him if he gets hurt, so you got to be a little bit careful, probably. So, but you also have to give him some kind of trade value. So it's a narrow line to walk, certainly.
Interviewing Jesse Bates. These player interviews are so like. I know Fox has like the rights to them, but I'm sure even the players are like, "What the fuck are we doing here?"
Yeah, it's like
because like I doubt they care to like. You're not going to hear anything like worthwhile from them, and you're just sort of like taking them away.
I think they're trying to help out like the broadcast crew. So like, yeah, we just don't like have much to talk about this game. Like, especially like, I mean, they can at least do play-by-play, so they can, you know, talk about that, and we have to like try to fill the air without doing any play-by-play. So it's tough stuff.
Man, play-by-play would be so fun. Josh Ali, meanwhile, nice first down for the Falcons. You know, we can't talk about what route it was. We can't talk about what formation it was, but, you know, we can say he caught it and got it first.
Wait, was that? Are you 2 plays late? Because I just saw
Blair. Sorry. It's Chris Blair.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, oh, Josh Ali, I haven't heard much about him.
No, Chris Blair watch.
Yeah. So, yeah, Chris Blair, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's got that spot. Unless, like, somebody crazy shakes loose, like, on waivers, I think they're probably just going to keep Blair for now. That would be my thought. But, you know, we'll see. Can we get him 100 yards tonight, Adnan, against the Jaguars starters? You know, that would really be something.
I mean, he'll definitely make the roster is my prediction. If he gets
yeah. Nice run there, too.
Yeah,
Falcons third string offense starting to do some things here.
Jags territory, you know.
Yeah. Maybe make Jacksonville sweat a little bit here with this depth, but. I mean, I'm just happy we're seeing some forward movement on offense. Like after watching that first preseason game, at like the second that, you know, Penix like left the game, it's pretty rough. So, Aniki just scrambling around. This isn't regular season, so I'm not sure if Dave's doing like every time the quarterback scrambles, he has to like make up some ridiculous.
Do we even know if Dave's watching this game?
He is. He's live tweeting it. He's like at least a minute behind us, I think. But yeah,
that just goes to show that I'm not checking Dave's Twitter right now.
Yep. Shout out to Dave Choate. Yeah. Doing a great job over there.
Okay. Right. Do the Falcons go for it? Looks like they are.
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's the preseason, right?
They're on Jacksonville's 38. I think they'll sort of be setting up Koo for failure if they give him this kick.
It's a pretty long kick.
It's very long, and if he misses it, people will just, you know, panic.
Even though 57? I think it'll be like 57 from here.
Yeah, so this kick will be very forgivable.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's worth going for a 57. I mean, I don't think, especially in the preseason, like give these guys an opportunity to run a play. You know, despite, you know, Koo's play last week, I really don't think it's that important for him to get kicking reps in the preseason. I just don't think that's a big deal. So Man, they don't just go for it. They just they just like go balls to the wall. We're throwing, like a go route on 4th and 3. So that
Yep.
was
Casey
that
Washington 1-on-1.
yeah. They've shit seen like an obsession with that on like red zone and like
I mean,
4th and 3rd
hopefully
and
it
short.
does
Like,
work and they don't do it in the regular season.
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the fade route, like, at all. Just because I'm a fan of it if you have Megatron or, Randy Moss or what one of those, like, aliens that is so much better than any DB and can jump so much higher than any DB. But I think if you don't have that like those special like historic wide receivers, it's not worth it. It's just sort of a throw it up, and I think it's harder for the receiver to get to it than it is for the DB to force the incompletion. I think statistically, it's not a great play.
it's not. Fades in particular are very low percentage, but I think like Penix throwing goal balls is like that's his thing. He's really excellent at sideline throws and deep shots, obviously with his arm talent. So you're probably going to emphasize that a lot under Penix whenever he does get on the field for Atlanta, but not necessarily Taylor Heineke's best trait is his deep
No,
ball
I,
or
I
deep
I
ball
mean, like
accuracy.
the go route is different. It's like
Yeah,
a Brooks route. So I'm talking about specifically. Okay, you're on the 5,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
throwing it up at the goal line.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't like even when the Falcons had Julio, they just rarely completed those fades. It's just a low percentage play.
Is that
So
why Julio never scored touchdowns?
there you go. They wasted so many of them just running fades where they just had Julio run a slant, probably be easy money, but no, they got to make him run a fade, and it's like okay, so he's gonna get sandwiched by two guys, and we'll see how that goes. But
Oh, Julio's a free agent if Falcons have any interest.
bring him back,
Probably won't be
right?
very probably won't be very expensive.
Probably not. Just bring him in for the veteran leadership,
No, bring him in for the jersey sales more than
Mhm.
anything.
One last chance to get that Julio jersey if you guys haven't gotten it yet. So
Man, what a special jersey.
yeah, it's a great one. Good jersey. Yeah. No, it's funny because I never got Julio to sign it, but I did get Matt Bryant to sign my Julio jersey. So it is a signed. Technically, it's a signed Julio jersey. It's just that Matt Bryant was the one who signed it. But I'll take it any day of the week when you can get a future Hall of Famer, Matt Bryant's signature on there. So happy to
I
have
hope he's
happy to have
considered.
Bryant.
I hope he's considered for the Hall of Fame, even though I think it'll be very difficult.
It's always difficult for kickers. I mean, Morton only barely got in. So
Yeah, Vinatieri is in,
yep.
which I think Tucker will eventually be in,
Yeah, I think so too. But
but yeah, it's hard.
yeah, yeah, it looks like they've benched JD Bertrand as well. Like he's not playing tonight.
Well,
So yeah,
that's a guy where I think if JD Bertrand really plays well this year and they really like him, I think it could make Caden a bit expendable next year. Because I mean,
yeah,
we gotta start looking at cutting some costs,
yeah.
next off season. So
No, it's true. Um, very very true. That you got to start paying attention to that stuff. Um, and yeah, cap wise, it's gonna get tight next year. So they're gonna have to make some decisions. With regards to how they're gonna spend that money. And Caden doesn't give the most savings of everyone. I mean, I think I think Caleb McGarry and Grady Jarrett are probably the two like biggest cap hit like savings that you could get, but they need a compelling right tackle or they can't really get rid of Caleb McGarry. So, I personally would hope that Caleb McGarry has a good season. Maybe they could trade him, and get an asset back if they're planning to go that route. But
yeah, I think Caleb's going to be a goner by the time Penix starts, just because your right tackle is going to be like your left tackle when Michael Penix plays because he's a lefty, and I don't think Caleb is a good enough pass blocker to be a blindside protector. So I think the Falcons will be heavily interested in a very good right tackle with a premium draft pick, either this next draft or the draft after that.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
by premium, I mean like maybe a first rounder.
Yeah, no, I think tackle, edge, and corner are all spots you could see. But yeah, those are the ones I'm paying attention to certainly in the draft. But next year's corner class is really really good. So, I still haven't done a ton of work on tackle. I think edge is pretty deep too. So we'll see. Um, but I mean, if Storm Norton plays well, maybe you think you can get through a season with Storm Norton and like a second or third round rookie. Maybe. I mean, a little bit sketchier than I'd like, but
I like Storm. I don't know if I like Storm as a full on
yeah,
17 yarder.
yeah,
I
exactly.
really
I don't.
like Storm as a swing tackle.
Yeah,
Parker Washington, that was really smooth. Like that was really slick. He like caught it, slid, and like popped up before anyone could
yeah,
touch him,
that was a
and
nice
like
play
got a
for
couple
sure.
extra yards. That
Hmm.
was that's one where you like beat drop it on TikTok.
Hmm. No, good stuff there. He's
Yeah,
had a
and
couple of impressive
by the
plays
way,
in this one.
as we were
Yeah,
talking about that, the Jags have been driving the ball downfield.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is about what you'd expect. Uh, yeah. The other problem is like if the Falcons are good, like we think they will be, probably not going to have an opportunity to draft like Emory Jones or any of these guys that are going to be like the top prospects because they're probably going to be picking in the 20s. So, um,
I mean, we've been saying that for years,
we have been saying that for years. So,
and they pick 8th every single year.
well, they said you couldn't pick 8 3 years in a row, Adnan, and they did it. So I guess I would say you can't pick 8 4 years in a row, but maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe we should refrain from saying that. I think
I
Doug
mean, hey,
Peterson
you
might
never
be like
know.
chewing out Trevor for running. It's like you should probably just go out of bounds. But
Yeah, if they pick 8th again this year, then it's like, okay. I feel like Terry Fontenot won't be making that pick.
probably not. Yeah. Uh, I mean, I think it would have to be an outright catastrophe for that to happen. But, um, I mean, who I think Sheil Kapadia had the Falcons as like one of the. I think he had them with a top 12 pick and um, had them with the 28th ranked defense in his power rankings. So
Uh, I feel like that wouldn't have been the worst guess before these signings. Like, I
yeah,
think
I mean, I
the defense could have easily regressed to bottom 5 in the NFL. Uh, Barring injury, I think they will. I don't know if they'll be bottom 10 anymore.
yeah, I mean, last year they were like 14th, I think, overall, and they were actually slightly better than that against the pass. Um, and I think we were all expecting regression, but I think going from 14 to 28 would have been like pretty huge in terms of drop, even without these latest additions. But I mean, I don't think
My thing
anyone's.
is, like,
Yeah, no, go ahead.
my thing about it, my reasoning for it is, had they kept everyone intact,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they would have still been a regression, but they lost 2 of their more important pass rushers. Pass rush was really bad. Um, corner was not. I mean, corner still isn't very good. Still have no hope for Richie Grant like that as a starting strong safety. Maybe he'll be better as a backup. But yeah, I think I feel like I could have easily watched seeing that defense really crater this year. Because going from starting Calais Campbell to James Smith Williams is still, as old as Calais is, it's still like, okay,
yeah. Calais was
like
playing great last year. Yeah,
disaster.
yeah. I don't think Bud Dupree was that big of a loss. Personally, but Calais was a big loss. I mean, just from not just the fact that he's 6'8", like he was a big loss for a lot of reasons. So I do think that one they were going to have to find a solution for, but um, I do
The
think
other the
yeah, go ahead.
other thing
Yeah,
for me is Arnold Ebiketie. He he had a very lucky season last year. He got 7 sacks, and if you look at the pressure rate he had, I think he had the second highest like sacks converted
yeah, mhm.
versus pressure rate, and it's like, okay, that's not going to happen again. And if he doesn't really get better, then I think he's in for like a heavy regression this year. And he's a
Yeah,
guy that you actually like before the Judon signing. I think he was the guy you were counting on most to get get pressure off the edge.
yeah. No, that's absolutely the case. Nice coverage there by Natrone Brooks on Gabe Davis.
Oh yeah.
So good stuff there.
And
Um,
Gabe Davis, former Boomer Bust Bills player,
Another UCF legend, Gabe Davis. Yeah. So, um, yeah, good coverage there. And yeah, no, I agree. I think these like Judon and Simmons additions have really like kept this I think they've like eliminated the floor of this defense that was possibly there. Like if all these things went wrong and like Ebikadi was like not good and all this stuff. Like I think if you've got Judon there, nice run stuff.
Donovan Mooten. Like
Yeah.
Donovan Mooten just single-handedly stopped that Jags like play in its tracks.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Falcons
go
bring up
for
a
it on fourth
fourth down.
down.
Of course they will.
He
Yeah.
played well.
This defense was elite on fourth down last year. Like they were just uncannily good on fourth and short. So I think somebody did this. I think it was Trayshawn looked it up that it was like on like third and fourth and short. This team allowed like 3 conversions on like 17 tries or something. So
Nuts.
they were elite in that regard last year for sure.
Hell of a tackle by Natrone Brooks, even though Bigsby did get the first. But man, like that was he just like took his legs out from under him. He just undercut his knees.
Yeah. Nope. The Jags just barely get the first down, but um, yeah, nice to see those like deep depth linebackers available too, like actually playing well. And then yeah, I think Brooks, like, I mean, you're gonna have a hard time keeping him off the roster at this point. I mean, this is him playing against starters, like,
You'll
so
also have a really hard time keeping him on the practice squad.
yeah, I think they're gonna have to find a way to keep him. But maybe if they have Kevin King as that extra safety, then they just make Brooks the extra corner. I mean, I don't know. I'm interested in that, but they still have King playing at safety, so another good tackle this time by the UDFA Jaden Price on the other side. So, yeah, this Falcons defense is making it harder for him on this drive. So I mean, it's not been stopping them necessarily, but you bring up a fourth down. I mean, that's not bad for third stringers against first stringers. It's not bad.
I mean, yeah, it was a 4th and 1, but technically correct. Yeah.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct. Okay.
Yeah.
If I was
You
a
know,
Jags fan, I'd be a little bit concerned about like that
they
it's not.
the first down the next play. I mean, the Jags, they're not like gashing the Falcons defense on every play, but they're gashing them every at least third play, which is what matters.
That's true.
So it's like, it's
I don't know. I mean, I'd expect this Falcons offense to score like more than a touchdown against second stringers in a quarter, or not. It's not even it's third stringers. It's like it's not even second stringers. So it's like deep reserves. I would hope that like our first stringers score more than a touchdown, but
yeah,
I
but
don't know. But
if we look at it the other way, if I told you the Falcons offense against their third stringers was 1 for 1 on drives versus touchdowns, and then they were on the 5 on the second drive, we'd be like, okay, this is really good.
yeah.
They're
No, I
doing
mean,
what they, and that's exactly the Jag. It's just like the drives are taking a little more time.
yep. Yeah, there's not a lot of urgency. I mean, honestly, like that's not surprising. But
But
no,
I
no,
mean,
I'm just trying to hype up Falcons fans. That's I'm just trying to get the positivity flowing here. So.
yeah, and I'm bringing it down.
Yeah, come on,
I'm
Adnan, get with the program. Yeah.
So we need a balance. We need a
Yeah,
balance.
we do. We can like play off each other here. Was a nice first and goal play by the Falcons there.
Yeah, it was. The Falcons, they're getting some individual wins on individual plays. They're just not stringing them together.
Yeah, and that's the thing about defense is you got to string 3 or 4 plays together in a row, or else it doesn't really matter. So. All right, we're waiting for this timeout to be over so we can keep this thing going. That was a fast first quarter. Can't complain about the timeline of this game so far. We're on track for an early night, Adnan.
Oh, the best kind of night in the preseason.
Mm-hmm. That first game was torturous. Like, I don't know what was going on. That was the slowest preseason game I've ever been a part of. absolutely unhinged behavior by the NFL, letting that thing go like over 4 hours. But uh,
Is who took the number 0 from Calvin Ridley? That's Gabe Davis. Yeah, that's Gabe Davis.
nice play,
For some
Anthony
reason,
Johnson breaking that up. Yeah,
yeah, for some reason I thought Gabe. My mind had Gabe Davis as being shorter. I don't know
no,
why. I've been watching him for years, but my mind always thinks he's short.
who?
Gabe Davis.
Oh yeah, no, he's actually like tall. Yeah, no, I think he's like 6'2".
Yeah, probably because he's at like speedster, so your mind just like automatically is like, okay, he has to be short. Yeah,
Yeah,
touchdown to Evan Ingram, 2 for 2 touchdowns.
yeah.
Um, they went right back at Anthony Johnson, and yeah, they beat him.
I mean, Evan Ingram is,
Yeah, Anthony Johnson stumbled a little bit on that play, but
yeah,
I think even if he didn't, he would have had a hard time.
yeah,
Um, yeah, this is gonna help Ingram's draft stock in fantasy. You know, he's Trevor Lawrence's main guy in the red zone. I think they'll say so.
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah. Anthony Johnson just stumbles out of the break, out of his, yeah. I mean, Ingram is just a huge mismatch for a lot of guys. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. But yeah, I mean, he's especially a mismatch against third stringers. But no, Evan Ingram is very good. Like, not besmirching that man at all. So all right, we'll see if this Falcons offense can do anything against these Jaguar starters here in this first half. Coming up next.
Yeah, I think yeah, it looks like they're gonna probably go the whole half, which hey, I mean, good for the Jags coaching staff. You know, they're gonna get the dress rehearsal in. Uh, that's one thing I don't understand why week 3 of the preseason de facto became week 2 of the preseason as in terms of the dress rehearsal game, like because the preseason didn't move, right?
Right. Yeah.
Week 3 of the preseason has remained week 3. It's just they took away that 4th game, so it's like before the dress rehearsal was 2 weeks before the season, and week 3 of the preseason is still 2 weeks before the season, so it's like, why did that move up to week 2? Like, I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like I don't really understand the decision making behind that, but you know, I don't know. I can't explain that. I know that I guess I get to look at the stats behind it because I feel like I don't know if there's actually less teams playing starters like than there have been in years past, or if it just feels like that because the Falcons are taking part in that. So I mean, I don't really know, but um, it does seem like they have, like you said, they've sort of shifted the timeline, even though they haven't really shifted the games themselves. So it is a little odd.
That just feels like a weird reaction to me. It feels
Yeah,
like everyone's like, "Okay, well, now we have to move it up." Well, why? Like, why do you have to move it up a week? The only difference is week 4 of the preseason isn't there anymore, and none of you guys were playing any starters either way. So,
yeah,
that's just a weird thing. Like, there's some stuff that, like, people in the NFL do that's just sort of weird, and it's like, okay, like, it's kind of inexplicable.
yeah.
Like, for example, one thing for me that I just don't understand, I feel like I'm Jeff Van Gundy right now, just, like, ranting on the ESPN, like, NBA broadcast.
Yep,
But,
yep.
basically, like, one thing I don't understand, how does every single coach not have a time management guy in the booth?
I don't know why you wouldn't just have one guy, because there's no limit to how many coaches you can have. So like you should have your guy that just stares at the clock and like advises you on what the analytics say, and then it's
And
up to you if you want to follow it. But like,
if
yeah,
you don't wanna pay a coach, get an intern to do it.
I'll
Like,
do it. Give me a
yeah,
call.
get
Yeah,
someone who literally is just going to, like, pay attention to, like, the awareness, the, like, time that's going on, like, have a calculator Like, get them an expensive calculator if you want. And it's like, these teams can afford it. And it's like, how is every team not doing this? It just and just have him like in your headset at times saying, "Oh, now's the time to take a timeout."
Yeah, yeah. So
Feels
I mean,
like an ego trip. It feels like one of those like ego trips of these coaches of, "Oh no, of course I can like do," but it's like it just takes something off your plate. Like it. How many moments in NFL history would we not have had if that was just a thing throughout NFL history? Like
yeah,
how many like collapses what would have been avoided?
yeah. I mean, exactly. So I think it's a no brainer personally, but um, that was a little high. But Casey Washington does come down with it. Pretty dangerous throw there. And by a little high, I mean a lot. But yeah, it's a first down, so we take those.
Shout out to Washington, a couple nice catches so far.
Yeah, we take those for sure. Um, there's another play that we get shown the end of the play. So Jason McClellan had the ball at the end of the play. I don't know what happened prior to that, but so something happened, I guess. We're not allowed to talk about it anyway. But yeah.
Nice slant route to, sorry, spoiling the route, but
No, it's
Chris
okay.
Blair.
Can't say that yet.
Okay,
It's on TV, Adnan. We can't talk. Yeah, you can
I'm gonna
discuss.
have
We can say what the route is on TV. Okay, they can't hide this. It's being broadcast on NFL Network. All right, everyone can see the route.
I can't, I'm gonna have like I'm gonna have some black vans showing up in front of my house pretty soon.
Pretty soon. You said the routes in the preseason game. How dare you? And
Preseason game.
Heineke is finally sacked. It's been a while. It was a long time coming, as the pressure was basically just surrounding him every single play, and finally does break down. So
Yeah, Heineke has no chance right now. Like,
yeah, I think it was. Well, I think Storm Norton's out of the game too. So that was Stuber. It's Stuber and Julian Davenport at tackle, I believe. So, yeah, he doesn't even have Storm anymore. So he did have Storm like the first drive, I think. So that was a little bit, but yeah, Heineke hit as he threw. Pressure there immediately again. So yeah, pretty much offensive line issues keeping the Falcons offense from doing a whole lot in this one.
okay, yeah, and the Jags are getting the ball back. A nice
Run
punt.
this clock. Yeah.
Yeah, they clocked. They're getting them inside the 20, so a win on the punt. It
Yep.
was small victories, right? Special
Yeah.
teams.
We can applaud the special teams play. That's allowed. Yeah. No, yeah, it's 11-yard line. Nice punt there by Bradley Pinion flipping the field. Do you remember, like, I feel like Pinion was getting, like, weird hate, like, last year. Like, people were like, Pinion's not good. I don't understand, like, why people thought Pinion wasn't good. Like, I don't, I don't understand. Like, he was playing well. He had a healthy punt average. I didn't really see any issues with this game. But there was just, like, this weird, like, oh, yeah, we need to replace Pinion. Why? Why do we need to replace Pinion? Like, why do we need to do this? Can somebody tell me, like, why we need to... Also, he's
I think he had like a poor game, or like I think he was injured like during the game,
maybe. Mm-hmm.
and I think he had like a poor punt, and it was like, okay, that's it, like, that's enough, cut him.
Yeah.
And if I recall, I think his backup was like much worse.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't even remember his backup. I'm sorry, like,
Yeah. No, I apologize. Yeah, I also don't know. But yeah, no, I think also Pinion's like huge. Like, I was like really surprised when like we saw him come over to the sideline one time at training camp. That dude is like big. Like, he is not a small punter. He's like the anti-Bosher. He's like 6'2", like 220 pounds, just like brick shithouse punter. So good for him. He could lay a hit or two on special teams, I think. So that's always something you want to keep in your back pocket. It's nice if your punter like won't get absolutely trucked by like a 200-pound wide receiver. I don't think we have to worry about Pinion getting trucked. But I'd
Bosher
rather
had
we
some
didn't
nice.
have to see. No, Bosher like definitely punched above his weight. Like, yeah,
Remember his hit on Kenyon Barner? Like that one was like okay, like, and then the Falcons signed Barner the next offseason.
yeah, yep. So then they had to get along, So I loved his like sumo hits. So he just like picked him up and like suplexed him. Great job, Bosher. So
Well, it's a nice picture of the Bens. Well, I'm not gonna lie. One thing I'm gonna complain again. Um, I don't like the lighting in the Bens.
don't like the
Not a big,
lighting. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the lighting inside the Bens. Like it just looks so dark and gloomy, like on TV at the very least. And I know like put they invested a lot of money, like in the lighting company for it, but I don't know. It just looks so depressing on TV.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, no, I guess I haven't paid that much attention to the lighting at all. Like, cause I'm always watching it on TV, so it's like, oh yeah, it just kind of looks, relatively like sterile. With the roof closed, it just kind of looks like typical, LED light. But yeah,
And I'm not even saying like, oh, it's a dome thing because no, it's not. Like the Lions lighting looks really nice. Like even the Saints lighting looks really nice. So when they're playing at home, the Falcons lighting since they went into the Bends, it just looks so. I don't know. It's like my least favorite lighting that I've seen among all of these like dome teams. Of course, the you know outside stadium teams, like the lighting comes from God.
yeah, yeah. That's God's light.
That's the
Yeah,
sunlight, yeah, but
yeah.
in like stadium lights and whatever. But yeah, this is I don't know. Like I'm not a fan at all of the Falcons. Like
Interesting.
also, Natrone Brooks had a nice tackle. They threw a flag, and they will not show us what the flag is because they're having to do a close up of Bijan Robinson's face for this
Bijan Robinson
interview.
is a beautiful man, though. I understand. You got to get as many shots at him as you
Uh,
can out there. But yeah,
I guess it was against the Jaguars because they're
yeah.
back up now. But
I
yeah,
think it was a hold on the Jaguars, but I'm not
the
sure.
broadcast could have at least like done this, like keeping Bijan Robinson like in the small screen just while the flag is going on, just to show us what it was.
Yeah, yeah. I assume it was a hold, but I don't know. Given that it was like a 10-yard penalty, I don't know. Yeah,
Uh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it was a hold. Yeah, it was a hold. It was a hold.
yeah, yeah. Falcons did get some pressure. This is the second string of the Jaguars now.
Mac Jones is
Um,
in. Mac
yeah,
Jones.
Mac Jones,
Mac Jones.
future Hall of Famer after that one season, Mac Jones. So yeah. Oh man, pretty much. I
Hey,
feel like. Oh, go ahead.
Falcons forced a 3-and-out. Yeah.
There we
Hey,
go. Big
look at the
money.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nice tackle,
Incomplete
Jaden
Parker
Price.
Washington and you know pass to Parker Washington, which does not get there. A lot of Parker Washington today.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Falcons are going to get the ball back 3-and-out, and let's see if they have any success against the Jaguars' second string defense.
Yep. This is your big chance, Heineke. Light him up. Light him up, brother.
Watch them take Heineke out. That would be so like.
You're going to second string. We're going to fourth string. Bam. You can't tell us what players to play. We're gonna now put in the fourth string. Take that. We need to get those You need to get John Paddock hours going. I do hope they give Paddock like more than a quarter this week. Like at least give this man some tape. Oh no, Natrone, you got to get that ball.
Yeah,
luckily he did have plenty of time to like get the ball, but still, yeah. Like I bet he would have like not returned, like attempted to return it if there was anyone like even remotely close to him. But yeah, you do have to hold on to it. So like you can get away with like a slight bobble if there's literally no one within like 20 yards of you. But if he catches that, he probably gets a pretty good return on that. I mean, the return
that's
decent,
the thing that sucks about it because it's like, okay, that's gonna be like a because Natrone is also if Natrone can play well as a returner, that's going to give you all the more reason to keep him. He's not going to be the primary punt returner, but it always helps having that extra skill set of okay, you can sort of throw him in there as a backup, like just in case you need it.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
yeah,
always nice. Yeah.
that's not a good look mucking the punt.
No, no. It wasn't like a terrible muff. Like he did have it. Like again, it's like he had the opportunity to recover it. It didn't go flying, all over the damn place or anything. But you got to keep hands on the football. But yeah, I mean, I think he's been a solid returning option so far. So, I mean, last year we saw the Falcons go through like 4 returners, and after Avery Williams went down, none of them were worth a damn. So, D. Alford was okay, but otherwise, not great. Seems like Falcons might have at least a few returners. So, few returners here to choose from. I mean, it's probably going to be Avery, and probably going to be Ray. It
Yeah.
sounds like Ray might actually be the punt returner based on what Daniel Flick was saying. But
Are we sure Avery makes the team? Like,
it seems like he's going to make the team, considering how little he's played. Because I feel like if he was fighting for a roster spot, they would have had him playing. So, or they've just decided he has no chance, which I think is a little unfair considering how good he was as a returner. But,
but my thing is, if you have Ray as your returner, is it worth giving Avery a 53-man spot just for a backup returner? I get it for like the starting returner, sure.
yeah.
Then it's like worth it, but it's like, you know, is it worth carrying that like fourth running back because you're not really ever going to play him?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, I think he can do some stuff as like a third down back and maybe a change of pace back, but I mean, apparently he's getting carries in camp or like in practice, but not necessarily. But I am like, yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit confused as to why he's not getting like anything in the preseason. It's a little bit surprising, but um, I guess that just leads me to believe that they think he's like safe if they're not even going to bother playing him in the preseason. But I guess we could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. So
I mean, maybe you are right. I just don't get the logic. Like at the very least, let him earn the spot as a running back.
yeah,
Because unless you've decided that he is going to be your starting returner, in which case, touche. Like then yeah, like if you beat out Ray McLeod, then sure.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like they're going to have both because you have 2 guys back there on kickoffs and you're going to have 1 guy back there on punts. So it seems like he's one of those 2 guys. So
He's definitely one of the 2 guys on kickoffs, but it's like also like, is that worth it? Is that worth the like full on roster spot
I don't know.
just to
Yeah,
be like a secondary kick returner?
right. I guess maybe they think that it is. But I do wonder, like, they tried to get Jakeem Grant in here. Obviously, Grant gets hurt. They lost Rondale. So I wonder if they start having Avery do more receiver stuff because they're kind of looking for that archetype of like a sort of fast, shifty receiver, to that can also do some returning. So I wonder if they kind of maybe are going to do more like receiving stuff with Avery. But I don't know. He is a former receiver. He's got a lot more experience at receiver than he does at running back, technically.
And a former cornerback.
And a former corner. Yeah.
Yeah, Julian Davenport busted for the hold, but the Jags are gonna decline it.
Yep. And almost threw a pick too, Taylor Heineke. Threw it right to the defender.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I feel like we have a good balance going right now. Like, obviously, we're somewhat talking about the game, but let's be honest. The game is what it is right now.
Game is what it is. It's not great. Yeah.
I feel like we're tying some of our like outside takes on the Falcons with the game right now. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it's been a nice like it's been a nice sort of teetering act on our part.
No, yeah, I think we've balanced our takes. Not focusing too much on a game that let's be honest, not very entertaining, right? It's not great.
Preseason game, like
yeah.
We have been here for what? This is the 10th preseason quarter so far, and we've watched nothing but backups. Like at some point, it is what it is. Like
sometimes you just gotta, talk about other things to fill the time, and we're gonna talk about some, talking about some other roster questions, and obviously if you guys have questions, you can throw them out there. We'll we could talk
Yeah.
about
I
whatever the
mean, sure,
fans want. But yeah.
we'll talk about the lighting, in the bends. We'll
Yep. Yep.
you know, yeah, you're right, Joe. It is very deep in the preseason. We're talking about dome stadium lighting rankings. By
Yep.
the way, I have the Lions as number one. Um, and yeah, we're talking about the sort of philosophy of secondary kick returners, and the philosophy of when should you accept a penalty versus decline it. So yeah, it's I feel like we are trained up for this. We have practice for this because we've done so many day threes of the draft.
We're very well prepared, I think, for for these hours. That's for sure. Um, yeah, I do want to take a moment to remind folks, if you want to play in the Patron Fantasy Leagues, you've got until probably Sunday is when I'm gonna close the signups, right? So make sure you fill out the form. So to get access to the form, you need to make sure that you are signed up either on Patreon or on the YouTube channel memberships, and then make sure you fill out the Google form that's in there. I also posted it in the leagues from last year, so if you played in last year's leagues, you can fill it out there. And you just need to make sure that you're an active patron as well, or else it won't work. So, yeah, just do that. I want to make sure people have plenty of warning. I've tried to post about it all over the place. We're trying to figure out if we're going to do 2 or 3 leagues. It's probably going to be 3 again. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. We'll probably be doing that. It's going to be a faster draft. It's not going to be the 4-hour slow draft. It's probably going to be a 1-hour slow draft. But we're going to be starting that next week, so we have plenty of time before week 1. I just want to make sure everyone has been informed, everyone knows, and everyone has a chance to join if they want to do so. I know Adnan and I are looking forward to it. So, that's my spiel there. But while you're on the topic, you could also like and subscribe to this fine program.
Yes, please.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, Blez. To answer your question, I think Carlos Washington's going to be the third running back. I think he's firmly entrenched as the third running back right now. I don't know if Jace makes the team or if he'll be a practice squad guy, but I think it's clear that they really like Washington as the third RB. He started the game tonight.
Yeah.
Last week he got 9 carries versus 2.
Yeah, and Jace got most of his work at the end of the game. So
I think it's Washington's job to lose, barring injury at this point.
Yeah, and it sucks for Jace that he had to miss so much time with his pre-draft injury, but I think he ended up missing pretty much all of the offseason except for he did come back for training camp, but yeah, he did miss a lot of the offseason. So get us some nice clips of Darnell Mooney out there. Looking forward to. It's gonna be when we see week 1, it's gonna be the first time we've seen most of these guys playing for the Falcons. We're well, haven't seen any of these guys before, so.
I have a confession to make. I don't know if I'll be able to watch week 1 live.
How could you?
I know, but yeah, I'll be in Japan. I'll be in Tokyo.
It's a pretty good excuse. Yeah, pretty good excuse, actually.
Well, not
Yeah.
Tokyo. I'll be in Kyoto.
Okay. It's almost as good as Tokyo. Yeah. I'm
I'll
just
be
kidding.
in
I have no
Tokyo.
idea. Yeah.
I'll be in
Japanese city
Tokyo.
power ranking when you get back, though. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka are the
Okay.
3 spots.
Those are the top
And
3.
Mount Fuji.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I want to ski Mount Fuji. I've heard that's pretty sweet.
No,
So.
we're trying to hike it. We're gonna start a midnight hike on Mount Fuji, and then we're gonna get up there for the sunrise.
That sounds pretty sweet. It's a pretty good excuse. Okay, I was gonna I was
Decent.
gonna fight you over it a little bit, but now I got nothing now. So yeah, that sounds like a fun trip for sure.
Yeah, so it was one of those where it's I hate not being able to watch week 1 live,
Mhm.
but those are the days of the tickets, and I'll be back for week 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Severely jet lag.
Mhm.
But yeah, pretty good question, Solomon. I'm assuming it's going to be PPR, which is the scourge of
I'm gonna say, hold on to that for the fourth quarter again. we can rehash that topic, but yeah, it's PPR Superflex.
Can I lob you to make it standard? Because PPR is absolutely a fucking travesty, and it is I,
Maybe we
I'm
can do
very
yours as standard. We can do
I'm
yours
a
as standard
very
if you want.
passionate anti like PPR
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Brandon, it's probably gonna we're probably gonna have the draft start on Tuesday, like morning, and it'll be like an hour per pick. And please don't take the full hour if you can help it, but like,
This Tuesday?
yeah. But it's
Okay.
like an offline draft. So it'll be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have an hour per pick or whatever. Um so yeah. I'll keep you guys posted. Don't worry. We'll have and like just make sure you're logged into your sleeper and all that. We'll probably try to keep people in the same leagues they were in last year, just because it's easier. But yeah, I'll have more updates this weekend once we get final numbers. Nice sack there
Bradley
by
and A.
Bradley and A. Yeah, I keep thinking it's Arnold Ikic because that was the number he used to have, 47. But yeah, good stuff there by Bradley and A. So Falcons, they were getting gashed on the beginning of this drive, but they get off the field there. Nice third down sack, nice spin move. Bradley and A gets number 72. Is that Greg Little? Or is that some other Little? I don't think that's Greg Little.
Yeah, it's Walker Little.
It's Walker Little. It's some other Little. Yeah. I was like, pretty sure Greg Little doesn't look like that, but
yeah, CB2 is Mike Hughes. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, Mike Hughes is lining up out there as CB2 on week 1. I feel like he's safer in that role than AJ Terrell is at CB1. You know, I'm being facetious, but yeah. Well, they never took Mike Hughes off the field during camp, and it does not sound like anyone has overtaken him since I've been to camp.
No, I think it seems like they view, and this is exactly what they said last year with Mike Hughes and D. Alford, even though D. Alford was a better run defender, that they think Mike Hughes is just a better run defender and gives them the ability to do more stuff because of his size. We'll see. Like, I ultimately don't think like cornerbacks should be playing because of their run stopping, but I think the Falcons view their run defense as like sort of they want to put teams in third and long. Like they want to make sure they can stop the run. And I definitely against the Steelers, I think it makes sense to have like run support at the top of your mind. So I guess maybe that could be part of it too.
Steelers, sure, but yeah, there's a lot wrong with that. Like there's a lot wrong with that mentality of, all right, we're going to decide our second cornerback based on how well they play the run. Like there's a lot wrong with that in the year 2024. Like if this was 1984, then sure, by all means. But yeah, I hope that isn't. I hope that Mike Hughes is showing enough in coverage to where it's him. Even though I don't think he was better in coverage than Clark Phillips during that first week and a half of camp while I was there. But yeah, it's I'm sort of worrying. I'm sort of going to be worried about the coaching staff in general if that's their reason.
Yeah, I mean they do. I mean, I feel like I was the biggest Mike Hughes fan in the world, and even I didn't want him to start. So, I think Jerry Gray is the world's biggest Mike Hughes fan. I think that's pretty clear. So, we'll see if that lasts. To be fair to Mike Hughes, his best NFL play has been when he's been outside. So he is playing outside. Maybe that is,
But like to me, if they said that that's the reasoning why, like he has a history of success playing outside, then that's just fine with me. But it's like, if it's well, we want him to be a good run defender, in our cornerback. It's okay.
If you want the best, just put your edge rusher out there. If you want good run defense at corner, drop Lorenzo Carter out there. Yeah, but no, I mean I do think as long as whoever that number 2 cornerback is competent, then I think we're gonna be okay. But I think we were all kind of expecting Hughes to eventually win it. It doesn't seem like he has. And then like Antonio Hamilton's there too, and I think he's had he had that great first preseason game, and by all accounts has been very good as well. So they at least have some depth at corner. So hopefully they can weather the storm, because look, guys are gonna have to play at corner. Like that's one of those positions where no matter what, you're gonna have guys come in. Just you got so many corners out there. Some of them are gonna get hurt. So we'll just hope that the stronger depth ends up being more important than the stronger outright number 2 starter. and they can kind of mix and match to find the best combos. And maybe it'll depend on the matchup. Maybe it is like, Hughes is the better run defender. Clark is the better, coverage guy. So against teams that are very run heavy, we're going to see a lot more Hughes, and against teams that are more pass heavy, we see more Phillips. I wouldn't be upset about that. I actually like if teams are willing to sort of tailor their personnel a little bit more to their opponent. Like Eddie Goldman's going to be active for week one. Like, he may not be active every week, but he's going to be active for week one against the Steelers. I guarantee that. So make sure that rookie center Zach Frazier is going to have his hands full with Eddie Goldman in his face. That would be ideal. So.
All right, the Falcons are out here with Heineke running a bit of it's not exactly a 2-minute drill. We just got out of the 2-minute warning, but yeah, they'll be facing a 3rd and 5, 3rd and moderate. So, now's the time for Taylor Heineke. You got to get this play if you really want to have a chance.
Yeah, that would be nice. Be nice to get a drive going a little bit, onto the opponent's side of the field more than once would be a good move for sure. My advice, Carter, would be to wait till next year to buy a jersey, because I think they're going to change the jerseys again. So.
Oh, I hope. Okay, that's my next. That's my next.
I like everything about these jerseys except the numbers. I don't like the numbers.
The Falcons will go 3 and out. It looked like Tyson Campbell got there early. It looked like he got there a beat early. Maybe that could have been a flag, but nonetheless, nothing from the refs.
Yeah, still starters for the Jaguars here on defense. So Tyson Campbell's like their number 1 corner. So
he just got paid too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it is the Jaguar starters still on defense, by the way.
Tyson Campbell covering Casey Washington. Yeah, I know. I'm out on the jerseys. Like, don't get me wrong, the jerseys look okay, like in the stadium, sure, but those numbers are an abomination. I can't. Like,
yeah. I like
the
red I like the black with the red accent. I just the numbers were a big mistake. Like they need clean numbers. Like I don't know why people go all weird with the numbers. Just get clean numbers. It's like the easiest thing to get right.
The thing about the Falcons is the Falcons have a history of really nice jerseys.
Yeah.
Like if there's one thing this franchise has done right, it's the jerseys. And I think it might be the only thing this franchise has ever consistently done right. Like the jerseys have been beautiful and the helmets have been beautiful. And it's like, why not just do like a variation of what you did in the 80s with those like red jerseys? And like you can put a modern twist to it, or you can just bring those back outright. Because I don't think there's any rules in the NFL against that. There is in the NBA though. Like in the NBA, if you want to like bring back like a logo, it has to be like a different version, even like slightly modified. Like the Hawks pack logo in the 80s and versus now is different. It's like more tilted, like from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think there's any, like, literally just bring back the like jerseys from the past. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah,
the numbers are bad, and I really hate that there's no red jersey.
Yeah.
Like, there's no red selection. Sure, there was the gradient, but it's like, have they ever worn that?
They wore it one time. I'm pretty sure they wore it like one time, or maybe twice ever. And I thought it looked good when they wore it. Like I don't know why they didn't wear it more.
The Falcons not have like a red jersey.
Yeah,
like that is like the primary color of this team.
Yeah, it's bizarre stuff, but yeah, no, I think they it was a great throw there by Mac Jones. Just threw right at his feet. Okay. But yeah, no, I believe that they're going to do new jerseys next year, and I think they're going to have the red helmet be the primary too. It seems like that's the buzz.
Yeah, they're going more and more to the helmets. Like I think they'll have the red helmet for like 3 games this year, and I feel like they see that the fans really love it, and I wouldn't be surprised in that case. Like Evan will be the Thanos meme where he's like, "I can finally rest."
Yeah.
Because Evan, every time the subject like gets brought up, Evan always keeps lobbying for the red helmets. Evan's our jersey connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. And I feel like the only reason, I feel like even they may see that the jerseys are a mistake, and the only reason why they haven't changed them is because they can't. Like, I think it has to be in play for at least 5 years before you can change them again.
Yeah.
And this is year 5.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but yeah, I would love just like straight up. I would be the happiest if they just went back to the '80s look.
Yeah.
Like that
I
was some
really.
bad
Yeah.
football, but those jerseys were beautiful and those helmets were beautiful, like the
Yeah.
Steve Bartkowski jerseys.
Those were nice. They need at least something like. I really loved like the Vic era black jerseys. Like I thought those
And
were
you
just
you can
awesome.
keep
Yeah.
those too. You can bring
Yeah.
those in too as like an
Yeah.
alternate. Like it's not just a one and done type thing. Like bring the '80s red and whites, and then bring in the like blacks from the '90s or the early like two. Like it's so easy. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy. We saw the Chargers do it, bringing back their look from like back in the day, and like the Chargers like powder jerseys are beautiful.
They are. Yeah. So yeah. I know. I every time I played like Madden back when the Falcons had their like previous jerseys, I would always just like set the jerseys to like the Vic era, like all black. Just like no, we're not doing the Reds. We're doing the Vic era, all black jerseys. Those are some sweet jerseys. But I think if they just fix the numbers, like this jersey's fine. Like I don't really think it's problematic. I think they just need to fix the numbers. Maybe make some minor changes, make it look a little more classic. But the jersey itself is really not a big deal. I think it's fine. And then maybe like more red helmet emphasis, and then a red jersey. Let's just get a red jersey in here. This isn't like a. We don't have to do like some crazy stuff to fix this. We just need to get it back on track a bit. But yeah, I don't believe the Falcons are at all interested in Jeff Okudah. I think they were done with him last year. Jeff Okudah fell off a cliff the second half
They
of
were
last
done with
season.
him. They were
Yeah,
done with him when they
he was
benched him
benched.
last
Yeah,
year.
he was benched here. This is the same secondary staff, right? So, man, this defense is getting carved up at this point. So,
Matt Jones.
yep. I mean, they're playing extremely soft zone, so that's part of it. But yeah, yeah. There's like a 10-yard cushion, and I think someone took the wrong route there a little bit. But yeah, they're not going to go after Okudah. I don't think this team thinks they have a problem at corner. And I think a lot of people would disagree with that. I don't think this team thinks they have an issue at corner. So make of that whatever you will. But
I mean, we'll see when the games start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're burning the candle at both ends a bit too hard right now. Like we went through the lights, we went through the jerseys. What are we going to talk about in the fourth quarter? Like this game is not even at halftime yet.
Yeah, I don't know. We're burning through these topics real fast.
We're running out of material over here, guys.
Yeah, as we watch Mac Jones like just go wild, just like run a train on these like fourth stringers out here. But yeah,
this isn't good, guys. Yeah,
trucking guys. Yeah, but
it's gonna be 10 minutes of silence, like at some point in the fourth quarter.
We just walk away in the fourth quarter. Like,
and we're still gonna have like 50 viewers just like watching us just like in silence.
Yep. We're gonna start doing some like new age musical number, start playing our keyboards and
and there is Elijah Cooks with a touchdown against them.
Yeah.
So that is great use of the body. Good play by Elijah Cooks.
Yeah, very nice.
I think was that in Tron Brooks he beat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tron Brooks no longer unblemished.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough matchup for Brooks. Given I think this dude has like 5 inches on him, so yeah. I mean, Brooks is right there. He just can't quite get his hand in there to break it up. He actually has really good coverage. Yeah, that's just excellent. He almost gets the ball out of his hands if you watch really close. He has his hand in there. He pushes on it and it comes loose a little bit. But Cooks manages to hold on to it. So it's just a really nice play by Cooks. Strong catch there. But yeah, I don't blame Brooks too much for that one. I think he did pretty much everything he could except like actually intercept.
They are having a booth review, however.
Well, the ball moved. Like it did move a little bit, but I still think he's in.
It's gonna be close with the knee. It's gonna be really close with the knee because it was his right foot. Sorry, was that his left foot? Yeah, no, his left foot hit, and then his left knee hit right after that, and it may have just grazed out of bounds as the left knee hit, but I'm not sure. I think it'll be a difficult overturn, however.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a really good angle. I think it's gonna be in. I think
I think it's a
just
touchdown. Yeah.
it'll be just in. It's the old John Madden, right?
Yep.
One knee equals 2 feet.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, Trone's like right there. He's got his hand like on the ball. Good coverage, but that was a on like a very on target pass there, and nice physical catch by Cooks there. Bring that one down.
And the ruling stands.
Okay, good to know.
So, I spoiled that by a few seconds, but,
No, no,
I
not
feel
really.
like it was pretty
I'm
obvious.
waiting with bated breath for the outcome of this one on non so.
Okay, so it is 21-0 for the Jaguars. This is about exactly what you would have
Pretty
expected
much. Yeah, pretty
coming into this
much.
game.
Yeah. Elijah Cooks is 6'4", 215. So that's a mismatch a little bit in terms of size there. But
Man, imagine if he was, going up against Clark Phillips.
I think Detrone's like only 1 inch taller than Clark Phillips, so basically. I think Phillips has like 5 pounds on Brooks, maybe. Phillips is like in the 180s, I think. So he's a little stouter, but
Okay. We have, another kickoff. Hey, if you're a fan of kickoffs, it's the 4th one the Falcons are having a chance to
maybe
return.
that's the Galaxy Brain thing on us. They just want to practice the kickoff. So really, they want to give up as many points as possible so they can get all these kickoff practices in.
How brilliant. Oh my god, they can't even do this right.
They can't even do the kickoff right.
Like, they're gonna start off inside their own 20.
Yep.
That was
Not great.
a ball on the return.
Yeah, they're not even having Brooks return anymore. So I guess Brooks
Yeah,
was back there, but they didn't kick it to him. Yeah.
yeah, Brooks was back there serving as the lead blocker, which, I guess is a strategy. Yeah, victory formation for a first half, which was obviously not a victory.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Man, I don't think anyone would blame us for just closing the stream right now and just
Just
going about our Friday nights.
signing off. Yeah.
Yeah, just no, I'm kidding. We're here.
No, we're
Yes,
trapped in here with you guys. Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Dave, are you kidding? Dave
Dave
would never
actually
let us
has his
leave.
game.
Yeah.
Like,
Dave won't
he
come and
has
unlock the door until 11 p.m. So yeah.
yeah, Dave's actually chained our ankles to
Yeah.
our,
Yeah.
to our radiators. So
Yep. Yep.
it's very heinous, working conditions.
Yep. It puts the takes on the internet, or it gets the hose again. So that's Dave. Dave drives a hard bargain. Yeah. All right, so we did have a question from Nico with the $2. Thanks, Nico. Says, if Drake has 1,000-yard season and a decent number of touchdowns, would you head off a Niners type situation and go ahead and pay him in 2025? That's a good question. Probably not. I'd probably just give him the 5th-year option and do because his 5th-year option would be 2026. So like I would probably let him play out 2025 and then extend him. Like I don't want him to play on the option. I'd probably just go ahead and give him the option, have him play out 2025, assuming he has a similar year, which he probably will. Then I think you give him a contract with confidence after that. But yeah, I don't. I think you don't wait obviously until the 5th year option year because there's a lot of receivers in that class that are going to get paid, like Olave and Garrett Wilson and stuff like that. So I don't think you like wait for him to play on the 5th year option, but at some point I think you do pay him, like soon. But yeah, they're going to have to figure out how they want to juggle that because Pitts is going to get a contract too. But you know, the thing with Pitts is like Pitts' 5th year option is not very expensive, whereas Drake's 5th year option is pretty damn expensive. So you don't really want him playing on that huge 1-year cap hit. Whereas Pitts, you'd probably be okay with that. And like I do wonder if they'll let Pitts play out that 5th year option, but we'll see. It's definitely worth considering. What do you think about paying Drake early if he has a great year this year?
Yeah. I don't like setting the precedent of that, like just in general, of paying a guy with 2 years left on his deal. We see that going on in Cincinnati where Jamar Chase is saying, I'm good enough, like pay me right now. Personally, I disagree. I don't think he's good enough to make the sort of money that Jefferson is making. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's a hell of a player, but he hasn't really had that sort of season in like multiple years. And now he's holding out for it. I don't think Drake London would hold out with 2 years left on his deal. But yeah, Kyle Pitts is next in line. I don't know if you're going to pay him or not, but like you said, you let him like play out that 5th-year option. You see what this season has in store. But no matter what Drake London does this year, I'm not for paying anyone with 2 years left on their deal. And also 1,000 yards I don't think would be enough to warrant that consideration. Like he had 900 last year. 1,000 isn't really that much. Like, if he has 13, 1,400, then then we're sort of talking a little bit. But
Yeah.
like if Drake London came out this year and had like 1,005 yards or 1,010 yards, I would consider that like, okay, that's underwhelming given, that he's the number one with like Cousins and, unless he has like 1,000 yards and like 13 touchdowns, then that's different.
Yeah. No, I do think if he's like if he has like 1,000 yards and a bunch of touchdowns, it's like, okay. Because, I mean, maybe I think it's like if you see like Drake and Kyle Pitts like both over 1,000 yards and like neither one of them gets to like 1,400 or something crazy, but they both have over 1,000, you're probably like, oh, okay. Well, that like you're not too concerned because it's like they were spreading the ball between those guys and they weren't necessarily just feeding one guy all the time. But yeah, I mean, you want Drake to show that he's that type of caliber player certainly before you sign him to a big deal. But I think with Drake, it's like I don't really have a ton of concerns about like his long-term outlook. I think Drake is just a wide receiver 1, and he's basically looked like that, and he just hasn't really had an opportunity to show it at all. So, I think if he's above 1,000 yards, hopefully getting close to double-digit touchdowns, and just looks. I mean, most importantly, just you know it when you see it, right? I don't think we have to set an arbitrary number on it. It's just like if he's a wide receiver 1, then he's probably worth that money, and maybe you do just want to get ahead of that and pay it as quickly as you can. But, I think given how stunted his growth and like Kyle Pitts' growth has kind of been by the quarterback play, you may just have to let these guys play it out a little bit more than you typically would like to. And that might end up costing them some money in the long run, but they also, I'm sure, would like to be as sure as possible. So
Yeah, I'm definitely holding off on that. But yeah, speaking of extensions, I think we should maybe talk about AJ Terrell at least a little bit because we haven't at all. Or I mean, I think you have, right? But
I don't think
like,
we have really. Yeah.
yeah, it happened on Thursday, which was the morning after the show, and it's like, okay, like, thanks Falcons, you couldn't have done this 24 hours earlier or like, 12 hours earlier. Like, think of how cool that would have been if we could have like, broken the news on the show. But
Yeah.
The Falcons won't let us have that.
They just can't let us have it, That's just
They let us have Jude on.
Yep.
And then like after that, it's okay, you're not getting Simmons. You're not getting the Terrell contract. Like, very, very disappointed in the Falcons. Like, Falcons need to do better timing this around us.
That is the most important thing, honestly. It's about us, it's not really about anything else. It's about how do we support our show And I feel disrespected mostly by their lack of willingness to announce these moves to help our show out. We're gonna have words with Brett Jukes about this next. We're
We're
gonna
not
have to get
actually
on. We're gonna no, yeah. Might have words with Brett Jukes at some point if we can make a show happen. I know he was traveling a lot this offseason, so we missed his.
Yeah, probably in the off season though.
Yeah,
Brett's
yeah. Brett's a busy man, but no,
yeah,
we were
yeah.
close to having him like a couple weeks ago, but I think he's taking some well-deserved travel time. So I think
Up there in the
don't
mountains
begrudge
in
him.
Utah,
I think he was in Europe this year. Shout out to Brett for that European travel. But yeah, no. Friend of the show, Brett Jukes. We'll have him on at some point. I know everyone enjoys his annual visits, as do we all. So
yeah. Yeah, AJ Terrell's contract. I'm not gonna lie. I I think that if I think my preference with Terrell would have actually been to not re-sign him. Like and I know that's like sort of a hot take. I'm not saying like cut him or anything, but I don't think Terrell is, and I know it was like his turn, but I don't know. I think Terrell is in that like around like top 15-ish, top 20-ish instead of being top 10. And I think the contract is going to look better as a salary cap continues to increase. But so far, outside of the 2021 season, which was elite, like he was elite in 2021, he's regressed since then, the last couple of years. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the contract, I'm like, oh, like, I don't really think Terrell is good enough to be the second highest paid cornerback in NFL history. But I understand that that's how the market works. And the Falcons, I think, were a little bit cornered, pun intended, because Terrell is literally the only, like, sort of cornerback who you are really comfortable starting on this roster. And his team is going to have enough holes to fill moving forward to where if you also don't have Terrell, then that's another huge hole that you have to fill at what's turned into a premium position. So I feel like the Falcons gave Terrell some leverage just given how they've sort of built this team.
yeah, they clearly like made him the guy at corner because they didn't draft another corner, which we thought they were going to do, right? We thought they were going to draft a corner high to possibly give them future flexibility with AJ Terrell, but also like just help this year. They didn't draft a corner at all, so they really kind of
I feel like AJ Terrell's agent was really sort of like, okay, we got him after that draft because it's like, okay, what are you going to do now? Not pay him?
Yep, exactly. So I think they view Terrell as a better fit in this defense than in the last year's defense. And I guess we'll see if that plays out or not.
You also could have like played out the season and then signed him if that's
Yeah.
the case. Like, see for sure
Yeah,
because he's
I
not
mean,
holding out.
no, I mean, I'm curious what they did with the contract, like if they wanted to front load it a bit. Because if I like, otherwise you're right. Like, I don't know that there was a big need for them. Like, I think all the big deals have been done already at corner for this year. So like, you're not really worried about his number going up necessarily. I mean, if he had like an elite season, then maybe he's asking for more money next year or something. But I think at this point you're looking at, can you do some cap machinations with it? Like, either they could save cap this year, or they could probably keep his cap hit relatively similar and like front load that deal a little bit. So I'm curious. Like, I'm curious to get more information on the actual deal. But they clearly feel like he's a core player on this roster, and weren't willing to risk him potentially walking or holding out next year. So
I think next. So my thing is where it would make more sense to me would be if they maximize the cap savings this year. Which again, like I'm with you. We don't know what they're doing with the deal exactly, and they can free up to $9 million in cap space. So my thing is, if you're really like going in this year, and you wanted to like sign a wide receiver, then you utilize AJ Terrell's contract, you backload it, and you're worse off long term, but you can really sort of go in this season with it. Um, but otherwise, it's like, yeah, maybe if he has a really great season, then he maybe would have made more, but like not much more. Like he made a lot. He like $65 million guaranteed is like over 4 years. That's a lot. Uh, 81 million total. My thing, my and again, I have nothing against Terrell. I just don't think he's that caliber of cornerback.
Yeah.
He was in 2021, but in my opinion on him, just like the last 2 years, he's sort of he's a CB1. In my
Yes.
opinion, CB1, in my opinion, is one of the 32 best cornerbacks because there's
Oh yeah,
32.
without question. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
without question.
he is a CB1, but I feel like he's not in the top half of like the CB1s. And I know there's a lot of Falcons fans who are going to come at my neck for that, but I just don't think he is. Like he was a couple years ago, but since then I don't think he is. My preference of what to do with Terrell would have been what the Chiefs did with L'Jarius Sneed, which is
Tag and
play him
trade
out.
or yeah.
Yeah, play him out on his 5th year option. Hopefully he has a really good season in a contract year, and then tag and trade him for a second. If you can get a second rounder for it, for him. And I feel like the Chiefs sort of were really, really wise with that because they have their own cap constraints, and they ended up getting a premium pick for L'Jarius Sneed. And I think Sneed last year was better than Terrell was last year. So if the Super Bowl champions can do that with their like number one cornerback, I don't think Terrell was so infallible to where it's like, okay, you absolutely have to re-sign him. But yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a huge fan of seeing the signing happen, but I understand why they did it, and I understand that they sort of backed themselves into a corner a little bit on this one.
Yeah. Like I ultimately think it's going to be fine. I don't view it as like a huge overpay or a huge like underpay. Like I don't think it's a value. I don't really think it's a huge overpay. I think this year like will determine a lot about it. Like if he gets back into the top 10 corners, then it will be like, "Oh yeah, no-brainer." And obviously with all the roster context that you provided, like they needed to get something settled in the cornerback room because right now, like if Terrell was going to be threatening to walk next year, it's like you don't really have anything. So, they solidify that spot. And like right now, it's really expensive. But like next year, he'll probably be like the fifth highest paid corner by the time the dust settles on free agency, right? So, like,
And by the way, my scenario that I'm saying right now is a scenario where the Falcons actually address the cornerback position this offseason. But because they didn't, like I said, they completely backed themselves into a corner.
yeah.
Uh,
And I think it
w-
suggested that they were planning to pay him too. So,
yeah, like my thing, like either way, even if you were, I think it would have been smart to like grab one of those cornerbacks in the second round. But they obviously liked Rook a lot more, and they liked him to the point where they traded a second and a third for him, or used a second and a third for him. So that's another story entirely.
yep, yep. All right, we got more preseason action coming here, folks, as we get underway here in the third quarter. Uh yeah, Adnan, we one more half of preseason football left. So
Thank God. Hmm. I got Arthur Blank in there now. Arthur Blank looking very, very spiffy in his suit. That's there's a guy that has worn suits for very, very long time. It was actually kind of like funny, because I don't think I've ever seen Arthur Blank without like some nice clothing on, like ever. Um, it was during training camp, during the Arthur Blank like portion of training camp where he came in and like talked to the media. And he walked in. It wasn't a suit, but it was like this red, really nice red dress shirt. And it's like, man, I was like, man, it is like 96 degrees outside, and there is no way this man was not hot as hell. But when you have the type of business acumen as Arthur Blank and have that kind of money, then regular clothes are beneath you.
yep, that's right. So Arthur Blank just knows how to wear it. Like you said, he's very comfortable. He's got a lot of experience with that stuff. And yeah, he wears it well. So Arthur Blank out there talking up the team, I'm sure, as the Falcons' run defense just completely is getting gashed over and over again now after halftime.
The other really funny thing for me is the podium at training camp was one where you like stand there. And when it was Arthur Blank's time, they completely replaced that with like a table and like a chair. And it's like, no, 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 no. The owner is not gonna stand here. Like he is going to like get a seat and he's
Yeah,
going to sit.
he's going to sit down. Okay,
I,
do
I,
not
I
make him
I
sit.
guess when it's like your building, then that's sort of those are sort of the concessions that are made.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of quality defense being played here by the Falcons, having a tough time stopping the run. Jaguars have run the ball, I believe, 4 straight times now, maybe 5. Oh man, it's Austin Trammell. Hey, shout out.
Yeah, that's a former, shorts and the t-shirt training camp legend, Austin Trammell.
Yeah, Austin Trammell to God. Okay, some respect on my man. But yeah, shout out to Austin Trammell. Get another shot here. I think he was with the Rams for a while too. Shout out.
Okay, yeah, the Jags are very quickly into Falcons territory.
Yep, not a lot of delays here for Jacksonville. Mercifully running the ball every play. So definitely not minding that so much. Like to see all of the running and mostly the clock running. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what Arthur Blank's talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's it's very PR, like,
yeah, I'm not expecting big things, from.
probably talking about the stadium food or something like that.
It is good. It's good food. Yeah, shout out. Tasty stuff. I don't know how good the like preseason spread is versus the regular season spread, but
No, the
regular
preseason
season spread's
spread
very
was
good.
pretty good, bro. The preseason, they took care of us in the
Okay. Okay.
in. I didn't take full advantage of it, but they had like ready made like plates for us, like in the for training camp, like
Pretty
and that
good.
was just training camp. Like preseason, I'm pretty sure is even better.
Yeah. Pretty impressive stuff. The
Yeah,
food, not the Falcons play on the field.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
Mark Mondi, like his most viral tweet from like all of camp was literally him like taking a picture of like the food selection,
Yeah.
which shout out to Mark. He got there early enough to where he went on the tour and took full advantage of it. But yeah, that tweet went like super viral.
Yeah. Nope. I've been impressed with it every time I've been, certainly. So love to enjoy nice, you can't really like enjoy it too much. Like if you kind of have to get there early if you want to have it, and then like maybe you can sneak a plate in at halftime. But yeah, there's just not a lot of time. And then usually there's some left after the game. So if you're like quick, you can like grab a little bit as the game winds down. That's about it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, when you're like there for an event and it's like sort of an event that's taking like y- y- that does that requires your attention. I don't for me it's like, all right, I'll go in there, I'll get my soda, I'll get like a hot dog or a burger, and that's about it. Like I don't want to have to get up out of my seat anymore, except for like maybe to go to the bathroom, which already has a long enough line. Because
yeah,
it's like if you go there at halftime, then like those lines are so long that it's gonna take a while. Like it's gonna be well into the third quarter by the time you like get your food. Like it's best to get there early, get your food, if you want seconds, get that right away, and you sort of have it like right there, and you don't have to be bothered to like leave your seat for it. But
yeah,
that's just my game plan on it.
yeah.
And
No, I think that sounds like the way to go for sure.
for me, it's like it was when I went to the Taylor Swift concert at the Benz too last year. Shout out. it was literally like, okay, you get there. So here's the other thing about the Taylor Swift concert that really sort of was very eye opening for me. And yeah, you this is how the Falcons challenged something.
They
I don't
challenged.
remember.
I think they challenged if he was in bounds or not, or something like that. But
Yeah, it let's be honest, it doesn't matter. It was, you know how the Falcons struggle to get people into the building early on? And it was something where Dan Quinn was literally begging the fan base at one point, like, "Guys, please, like, please be here." Dan Quinn did everything but literally get on his knees, like, to beg the fan base to, like, please get there by kickoff. Um, and it just never happened until that 2016 playoff run. That's where like the fans were in their seats, and that was like really nice. But yeah, with that concert, like all I think all 3 days, and especially like the day when I went, it was everyone was like there like 20 minutes early. Like the seats were packed 20 minutes early, and it's like, oh, like this looks like the Falcons game isn't even like this packed. I don't think the Falcons game has ever been that packed like at the Benz, as packed as it was like 20 minutes like early for like the concert, like to watch Gracie Abrams do her like set of like 3 or 4 songs before like Taylor Swift even started.
yeah, I mean, no NFL team can compete with Taylor Swift. I mean, I think we know this. So, but especially
And
not the Falcons.
And boys, by the way, I can't afford Taylor Swift tickets on resale. I was lucky enough to get the Ticketmaster like pre-sale on it. So it was like 2 tickets for like $200.
Nice, nice.
I
Like,
sold one of them for 1,000. So yeah, it
well,
was real.
hey, it ends up working out then.
Big
Yeah,
win, big victory.
yeah. The Falcons looks like they forced a fumble, but Jaguars were able to fall on it, and they do lose the challenge as well.
No, lovely. Um, but yeah, definitely if you have not ever gone like before and you do go, try to get there early and try to get that food like early on because there are no lines like that like before the game.
Yeah. All right. Looks like a tackle for a loss there for the Falcons. So
I was gonna have another take, but I
I
forgot
had
what it
another
was.
take, but yeah, I'm just running. I'm running on fumes here.
Running on fumes right now, that's not a good thing because
It's
it's
not a
the
good
third
thing.
quarter. Like, there's
Yeah.
plenty of time. Oh, okay, now they're talking about the food. I
Yes.
knew they would get to
It
this
was
eventually.
inevitable. Yeah. It's inevitable that we get to the food at some point. So
Okay, I'll give it to the Falcons though. Like Arthur Blank has kept the food cheap throughout. The Hawks did something similar a few years ago when they were tanking, where they made the water, I think, $1.50. Like a hot dog was like $3. It wasn't. It was pretty much Falcons type like prices, and every year gradually like those prices just went up and up to the point where now if you go to a Hawks game, it's $6 for a water. Yeah.
yep.
Oh, now you have to like pay the tax on it too. So now it's
Yeah.
like 5.50 for a water, $6. If you want a hot dog, it's like it used to be like $2. Now it's 7.5. A burger is over 10. And the thing is, like the Hawks aren't even good. Like the Hawks are, they missed the playoffs last year, and they haven't really won a playoff round since 21 when the like fan friendly pricing was in place. So I will give it to Arthur Blank for sure regarding that. Like he has been a lot friendlier to the fans regarding prices than Tony Wrestler has to Hawks fans.
Yeah. Yep, yep. Once again, Falcons give it up on third down, and it's Austin Trammell getting it this time, getting down to the 1 yard line. So,
Hey, coming back to haunt his former team, yeah.
yep, yep.
First and
Make
goal
them
at the
pay.
one.
Yeah. That's been the Falcons' thing this game. They've gotten them into third down, they've gotten them into fourth down, they've never stopped them. So, I
Not
think they forced one punt all game, maybe two.
They did get that 3 and out on Mac's first drive. It's a
Yep,
touchdown for Jalen Jackson.
yep.
Runs up the middle, rookie out of Villanova. So yeah, Double J comes in and does a does a bicep flex type
Nice,
celebration.
nice.
Like
Yep.
it's yeah. He scored the touchdown. Okay, yeah, 28-0. Hopefully the Falcons don't kick a field goal.
That is not allowed. Field goals are off the menu. Yeah.
God, Tyler Russell, how'd you get $200 each for tickets to this game? Who is paying for that?
Who's paying $200 for preseason tickets?
Who's paying
Also,
200 for one ticket? Goodness. Unless you had like those, I mean, even those like luxurious seats where you have like the food and stuff. That's so much.
yeah.
Someone in my Twitter mentioned said at least who hasn't missed a kick today.
Small victories. Small
It's
victories,
technically not
Adnan.
wrong.
Yep.
Hey, that's all we need to finish off this like preseason. Like Younghoe Koo to miss a 40-yarder.
Yeah. 35-yard, chip shot
And then it's like,
miss.
okay, what
Yeah.
do we do now?
Okay, now we can really sign off. Good night, folks. Just gonna ride off into the sunset.
Okay, Kevin, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take my little break,
Okay, go for it.
and I will be back soon. Oops, my phone fell.
Be
I
back
will.
soon or not.
Hey, if I don't come back, you just see me on the TV.
Yeah, you just see you in the background doing something else. Yeah, okay, yeah.
All right, I will be back. All right,
Okay.
back soon.
Yes, folks. Well, it is a commercial break, so no football to talk about. And we are awaiting. Yeah, I'm solo now, Tyler. I got nothing left. I got nothing left at
Okay,
this point.
I'll be here until
Yeah.
after the commercial
No,
break.
it's okay.
Like,
You can
there's
go
no
take
reason
your
for me
break.
to like leave during the commercial break. That wasn't really good timing on mine. So yeah, I
It's fine.
will I will talk through this Papa John's commercial with you that's going on right
Yeah.
now.
you
Wait,
know,
never mind. It's not Papa John's. Wait, it is Papa John's. I don't know why I'm giving them free ad.
Yeah, yeah. No, you guys got to pay for the
Yeah,
mention
it's
on this pod. Yeah.
rookie move on my end for sure.
No free promo, but yeah, no, it's not the easiest game to watch. We did apparently the Logan Woodside's back with the Bengals, and he threw a touchdown. So there was that. I don't know if we saw that, if that was on our radar. Um, you know, missed out. We missed out on our reunion with taking him to the Woodside. So, you know, no more of that. Maybe John. Maybe it'll be a Paddock time, or do you think we're gonna get Heineke again?
Well, we're about to find out. I think they may go with Heineke just because he didn't really do much in the first half.
They're desperate to get him like any positive highlights, but they're probably reducing his value with every drive that he does absolutely nothing. So, nice return there, almost out to the 40. So,
Hey, hell yeah. Small victories, right?
mm-hmm. All right, you can take your break now. I think we're through the halftime, or we're through the little commercial. So it's all good. I'll find a way to persevere.
All right. I will be back.
Okay. All right, folks. So, probably not going to get to see the game very much because they're still talking to Arthur Blank pretty much exclusively. But it is going to be John Paddock, so the suspense is over. Heineke's night is done, and it looks like Spencer Brown in at running back as well. So getting a nice little run there on first down. So we get into this one. Yeah. Falcons, not looking so hot in this one. I do think that I actually think the third string performed fairly admirably against the Jaguar starters. I mean, given what you'd expect, right? So, I'm not really concerned about this game. I know some people are getting a little bit upset, about the score and stuff like that. I wouldn't waste any energy on this game. The Falcons clearly came into this one purely wanting to evaluate guys. And honestly, there's not really a whole lot to glean from it. I think the Falcons kind of were just like, we just want to get through this preseason game. the Falcons just don't care about it. So that's obviously gonna make the preseason less fun for us. But if they get through the preseason healthy, then maybe it's all worth it in the end. We'll see. Obviously, the big deal is going to be, what happens in week 1. But Falcons definitely running the ball a little bit better on this drive with Spencer Brown at running back. So perhaps finding a little bit of offensive life here in the third quarter that they really didn't have much of it all in the first half. Yes, we see a little John Paddock love there. Mr. Paddock joined the Falcons as a UDFA, and then he was very unceremoniously dumped for Nathan Rourke, and then brought back, and with Nathan Rourke cut like a few days later. So a little bit of interesting saga there. But we'll see if Paddock gets an opportunity to actually throw this ball at all, if they're going to be running heavily. Definitely appears to be pretty run heavy at this stage. I believe that's now 5 straight runs for the Falcons. So we shall see. But it's now a 3rd and long, so we're going to see perhaps John Paddock put this ball in the air, and whether or not the Falcons do a whole lot. But trying to get a look. Let's see. I think this is mostly 2s on the offensive line still. I think Ryan Newsel still at center. Nope, it's going to be play action. It's going to be shy of the first down. But pretty close, so I imagine the Falcons will go for it. I guess we'll see. Yeah, Tyler Russell, the end of preseason is nigh. Absolutely correct. That is the big takeaway from tonight, is that we're only going to have to watch another quarter and a half of preseason football. Then it'll be on to the real games, which are infinitely more interesting, of course. So yeah, Falcons are going for it here on 4th down. We'll see if they can pull this off. And they do. So good stuff there. Nice little run from Spencer Brown as we get a fresh set of downs here. And yeah, well, I'm going to have to take a play off, because I don't want this to be play-by-play. This is not play-by-play in any circumstances whatsoever. But big hole there. Falcons offensive line does a great job caving that side of the line in, giving Spencer Brown nothing but air to work with in a good way. So good stuff there by that group. So maybe actually get an opportunity here for the Falcons to put some points on the board. Again, putting this ball on the ground. Looks like Jace McClellan getting some more run here too. And yeah, again, if we're reading into the depth chart a lot, probably concerning that McClellan's playing now and that wasn't playing much earlier in the game. Honestly, Spencer Brown has outplayed pretty much everyone so far. He had a couple good runs. We'll see if Jace can get some more opportunities here as well. Yep. All right. So we've got 3rd and long coming. Nothing really going there on 2nd down. Not much room to run. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree with the take that Spencer Brown looks better. I think every one of Spencer Brown's carries has looked pretty good. So good for him for standing out. He's had to come in here on short notice and make some plays happen. So we'll see if maybe Spencer Brown's got an outside shot at the practice squad here. Yeah, Paddock trying to get that ball out there to Adu Hillier, and that one's going to be incomplete. It's going to bring up a 4th and long, so perhaps the dreaded 28-3 score, but I think the Falcons are just going to avoid this and go for it here on 4th and 6. So, oh man. Yes, they are. They are going to avoid they're not going to go for the field goal here. They're going to go for it on 4th and 6 to avoid 28-3. So good stuff. Good stuff, Falcons. I didn't think they'd actually care that much, but they do. And Paddock gets this ball off. It's going to be short, however, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Close does get this ball off to, I believe that's Jesse Matthews, but he's not able to extend that enough to get a first down. So it's going to be a turnover on downs. But yeah, I mean, that was nice. Paddock avoided some pressure, got that ball on target. receiver. I don't know if the receiver didn't get enough depth or if that's just sort of the way the route works or what have you. But yeah, obviously 4th and 6, not an ideal situation. I don't think there's any scenario where you go for it on 4th down there in a real game or when you're unless you're trying to avoid a meme like this. I don't know if they don't, I assume this is all about 28-3. So, yeah, not that invested, honestly, in what they decide to do in this game. But that was probably the best drive that we've seen. It's sad that it took this long. To get there. But, decent little drive there. Running game finally got something going. I do think we're going to get some points tonight, though, folks. I think that this Falcons offense is going to get it done at some point tonight. But yeah, if they're not willing to go for field goals when they're down 28, then maybe they won't score then, right? Maybe they won't end up scoring. But yeah, no, I mean, I think if you're looking at what's going on here in terms of the who's playing, I think that it seems like Carlos Washington is going to be that 4th running back. I think that Chris Blair has pretty much locked up the wide receiver 6 spot. So good for Chris Blair. And yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do with the corners because, I think Natrone Brooks, you certainly like him. He's been a good player. Obviously got beat for that touchdown, but I think he did pretty much everything he could there. Kevin King, it seems like the staff really likes. He was playing a lot of safety tonight. So maybe they try to move him over there for depth purposes or just try to cross-train him at various spots. But, yeah, I think really you're looking there. And then, I wonder how much we see from any of these other guys. At this point, I'm not expecting a whole lot of drama anywhere else, basically, with this roster. As Adnan rejoins us, just as the game gets back on. It's a good timing.
Yes, I have Doritos.
Good. It's important.
Doritos want to sponsor us.
Yeah, Doritos, call me.
I need some.
I would take a crate of Cool Ranch any day.
Hey, here they are. Hey, first one's quick. Here you go.
Yeah.
I will say, look at what we did with Twizzlers. They sent me some free sampler, crate of them, and we talked ad nauseum about Twizzlers for years. Hey, I had a Twizzler on the show every single week or indefinitely.
You still barely got through them. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave most of them away. I'm not gonna lie. I could not be happy. I like a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey, if you guys want, we make it worth your while.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
Worth your while. Send us some products, and I will eat Doritos on every single live show.
Yeah, I mean, we got Daniel Flick got the Quick Trip hookup, so shout out to Daniel.
Shout out to Quick Trip too.
Yeah, nice stuff there. Good job. So, all right, looks like we're gonna get more Mac Jones here for the Jaguars.
Oh, I need to adjust my seat to actually watch the TV. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually need to have to watch this game. It's unfortunate. Some more Austin Trammell action. Trammell reverse for first down there. So.
Doritos are here.
Good.
Hey, the Falcons didn't kick a field goal. It's a big win.
Yep.
Hey, Nathaniel Brooks with another big hit.
Well, did you see what happened? They had 4th and 6, and they chose to go for it instead of kicking the field goal.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yep. So, I'm just saying is all. Somebody's thinking about that.
God damn, Tyler, $7 for a bag of chips. That's heinous.
That's pretty extreme.
Yeah, like, that's heinous for the.
Yeah, that's extreme. It's extreme chip prices.
A lot of price gouging in those grocery stores. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the geodynamics of inflation.
we're gonna track Dorito prices in all 50 states. This is my thesis. So, but yeah, no. To answer your question, pockets. Lucas Dennis is not making this roster. No, I don't think so. Um, I don't believe he's in contention. I think he had kind of a weak preseason. And I think he's just he had to get ahead of like Dan Cruikshank or Mike Abernathy, and I don't think he got ahead of either of those guys. So, tough sledding for him. Not a huge opportunity there. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna make the cut.
Yep. I'm looking at the depth chart now. How far was the 4th and 6th, by the way? What was the field goal range?
Oh yeah, it was like at the 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they just didn't want to kick the field goal. Yeah.
I thought it was like the 36, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
I'll get it.
no, it was like the 20-yard line. So.
Mm. Brandon, give me a second. Let me wait. Let me not say that. But let me finish this chip, and then I'll let you know my drink of choice.
Yes, I have this Omegang Super Boliki, which is you know, nice Belgian amber, real thick 8%. So the only thing
So
keeping me going through this preseason game here.
got a European drink. It's called. I've drank it before on the show. It's
Oh yeah.
manufactured in Croatia. It's called Sedevita. Well, Bosnia, Croatia. I think this one specifically was manufactured in Croatia. Yeah, so it's this like a lemony powder that you mix with water, and it gives it like a frizzy taste. And it's sort of healthier than a soda, but it gives you that like soda type kick. So you can get it anywhere where you buy European stuff. I don't think it's
Yeah.
available at like Walmart or like Target or places like that.
I like to go to like a European market or something. Um, Kevin and Adnan eat the one hot chip while giving a full review of the team's roster. I'm not eating one of those chips, so don't even try that on me. Yeah,
I
I've seen people eat those chips. It looks terrible. So
yeah, we're not getting paid enough for that. I'm not gonna lie.
no. Like I can eat, I can eat like hot stuff. That chip is not hot. That chip is like Satan. That's like eating Satan's skin. There's just no point to eating any food that's that hot.
Also,
Yeah.
especially not for the Falcons.
No, especially
Not
not for
done
them.
anything to deserve that.
It's the only thing that could keep the third preseason game entertaining, and we still won't do it.
I will sign off before I do that.
Yeah. I would try like actual good, hot sauce that's hot, like on something, But those hot chips, like that, those are like a total joke. Like they're not. It's not like good. It's like just pain. Like it's like eating fire. There's no point to eating that. Like if there's like a delicious like ghost pepper hot sauce or something, like yeah, I'll try that. Because there's like redeeming value to that. Like it's gonna be really hot, but like if they win the Super Bowl, I would consider eating the hot chip. But let's make the playoffs, and then we can talk about what crazy things we'll do if they actually win the Super Bowl. So
I don't like spicy stuff, bro. Like
yeah.
I don't like my wings spicy. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. Like I want my food to be like. It kind of ruins the taste. So for me, especially, the hot chip would literally just kill me.
Yeah.
I would die on the broadcast.
Yeah, I've seen people that I have friends that like spicy food that said don't eat the chip. It's disgusting. So yeah, I just think it's gross. Like it's just not even good. But I remember when we went to Thai with DW, and Adnan was like mild please, and DW was like, what's the spiciest you have? Give me that. And they were like, are you sure? And he's like, yes. And he ate that whole plate. I don't even think he broke a sweat. So that man is something else. Maybe he could handle the hot chip without an issue, but
Yeah.
to him it would be more like the light tickle chip. So
yeah, I did. That was the first time I had Thai food.
yeah,
Fun fact. Pad Thai, and it was solid. No, it's interesting what they do with like peanuts, like incorporating peanuts with their like food.
Mhm.
I
No, it's
never
good
like
stuff.
had like noodles with peanuts before.
Yeah, it sounds weird when you like say it, but it worked. It just works. It's tasty.
It does work.
Yeah.
It's like putting chips on like a sandwich. Like, it seems unconventional, but it definitely works.
Yep. Yep.
Those old Lays and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's good. Good food. I'm a big fan. Big fan of the tie. All right, Falcons get another chance here. They almost gave up a touchdown, but there was an illegal shift technically. Um,
Mm, I barely know who has the ball.
I don't even know who these people are, unless it's Austin Trammell. That's the only guy I know.
No, I see Trammell, I see Mac Jones. I'm assuming the Falcons are on defense right now.
Yeah,
This is what the analysis has come to at this point.
yeah. They're playing so far off. It's like they don't even have a chance to to stop these plays. Like this must be intentional. I mean, I don't know. Um, Like it's just like Trammell comes in and runs a simple stick route, and like the safety has absolutely zero chance to get there before the first down. Like, so you know this is very familiar to Dan Quinn defenses.
Yeah, Dylan, I'm not a big fan of pineapple on pizza either. Dylan, sorry, not Daniel, but yeah, not a big. I don't know. For me, pizza is best when it's just like cheese. Like I'm a huge fan of just like the simple stuff when it comes to pizza.
Yeah,
I can have some chicken on it, have some beef on it, but I don't know. Pineapple for me is like okay. I don't like combining the sweet and the like salty.
yeah. No, I don't like the pineapple on pizza either. Oh yeah, there's Raheem. Raheem saying hi to Austin Trammell. There you go. See, wholesome content right there. Margarita pizza's pretty good. I like
No,
margarita.
margarita pizza is excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. You know, the Europeans do that shit like so
Oh yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff.
Although I will say, I do think American pizza is like very like elite, like in the grand scheme of things. I know
Yeah.
maybe it's not like yeah, I know we're like here, so maybe we're used to it and stuff. But like when it comes to it's you get so much of it. Like just in general in America, like the servings are so like big on like everything, every possible thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean it that's the thing too, like when I went to Europe, that one of the big things I noticed that was a nice play by Lucas Dennis, speaking of.
No,
Um
nice.
but yeah, like there's like no like pickup trucks. It's just like there's like very few SUVs or pickup trucks, like almost none, and it's like just like smaller cars. Like everything in Europe just like is just a little more compact. Um
Mm. It's
but
like
then
everything is very like the
yeah.
Jags kick a field goal, by the way. Everything's very like you're right. There's a lot less space. Like America's so spacious. Like if you haven't this country is huge, bro. Like continental America is like I don't even know how many like Texas is bigger than France.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, one thing like in Europe, what they don't do refills. Like they do not do free refills, and like the larges are like not as big as the larges here. So I remember I had a friend came here from Europe. He was visiting his family, and I think they took him to Longhorn, and he orders his Coke or whatever, and the waitress comes by after he like has it like halfway through the meal and like fills it up again, and he gets like upset because he's like, I didn't order this. I don't want to like, why should we pay for another Coke, whatever. And then they told him like, no, 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 like, this is free. Like this is fine. This is like how it goes here. After I think he had like 3 or 4 Cokes that night, because after that he's like, "What do you mean I get this for free?" So he
Yeah.
just like drinking it and kept refilling it.
But that's the thing, like that's part of why like America, has such an obesity epidemic, because it's like if
Oh
you
yeah,
had to actually like pay every time, you probably would just be like, actually I'm okay. I could just have water, you know. And it's like, no, no, if it's free, I'll just keep drinking Coke, which is
yeah,
why I have I mean,
100%.
yeah, so I mean, I think that's part of it. Like maybe you don't need 4 Cokes. Maybe imagine if beer was free. This country would, be terrible. free refills on beer, we'd all be just, melding into the couch. So, thank God somebody stopped that from happening. But
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think it's what 40% of adults are like obese. So yeah, that is a problem. But yeah, definitely get your exercise in, get your steps in. It will make a huge difference when you're in like old age.
yeah, it does for sure. Get that exercise in. Maybe consider, 3 Cokes instead of 4. Just cut that back a little bit. Yeah.
Even just walking, like
Yeah.
you know what a big difference it is. Just like walking, like every day,
Yeah.
will make for you later on in life.
Hmm. Oh, it's
Don't be
huge.
sad.
Yeah. No, I remember like I usually walk every day, but I remember like I think it was like one year I was like hurt or something, so I had stopped walking, and then I went to go like I was like finally healthy, and then went to go ski, and I was just like I can't like go like at all. And it's like the year, like all I was doing was like walking. The previous year when I went skiing, I was like, oh yeah, I feel great. So it's just like like just keeping your fitness at like a baseline level is just like a huge
Yeah,
deal. So
like
yeah,
we don't even have to like you don't have to run a marathon or anything. Like literally, walk. You don't realize just how much it adds up.
yeah,
And I mean, for me, it's like I'm not a huge walker, but I'm in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, so
yeah,
I'm like
that helps.
lifting heavy. So that like I sort of count that instead.
Yeah. No, I'm more of like a runner. I try to run like 3 5Ks a week or something like that is my thing. But um need to find a good gym. That's the thing. I haven't really found a good gym here in Syracuse. I'm sure there's like a million of them, but
Oh, especially in New York, like
yeah.
for like New York, the state for sure. But
Yeah.
oh, there's this place coming back for sure. Kind of feel bad for Carlos Washington is celebrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, shout out to Crunch, bro. Like Crunch Fitness, that's like that's my gym, and it's the best bang for your buck. It's like $10 a month. Once a year, I pay like an extra 30 for like maintenance and stuff. But yeah, it's not a 24-hour gym, but it's definitely really big, even though it does get very packed.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the barrier to entry on a lot of these places is pretty good now. Like that like initial entry price for a lot of gyms is pretty reasonable. But I've heard it's a nightmare to try to cancel. So you better
Uh,
go. Yeah.
that's how they get you.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough to
But,
cancel. So.
but yeah, no Falcons for like lifting weights is really good, just because like after you lift them, it will like your body is burning a lot of calories just in muscle recovery. So just like you tear your like muscles up and just you're literally then sitting at home or like you could be doing nothing and your body's burning hella calories
Yeah.
just as you recover from it.
Mhm. No, it's good, and it's good to like mix it up too. Like that's why I don't like I run like fairly a decent distance with the 5Ks, but you shouldn't like run like 7 days a week because that's just putting tons
Yeah.
of stuff on your knees. Like you should like diversify a little bit, like have some days where you know you bike or
Rest days
do
are
like
important.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
rest days are like real rest days and getting enough sleep too.
yeah,
Like you really need to like get some sleep because it's like if you're not it's sleeping, eating, and like actually doing the workout. If you're lacking one of those things, then it's like it's not really gonna work, right?
yeah,
Even if you're eating the way you should and like working out, if you're not getting enough sleep, your body's not like recovering well enough.
yeah. So it's important. It's important stuff. Getting into the fitness regimen here in the fourth quarter of
Oh, you
preseason
know it.
week
Fourth
3.
quarter of the last preseason game.
Yep, there's a
Yeah, I
second and
definitely
19 run for a loss. So
yeah, I definitely do need to like get my cardio up a little bit for Fuji because that's gonna be a brutal hike.
yeah, yeah, no, that's gonna yeah. What is that like an 8 hour hike? Are you just trying like are you
Uh,
doing the
it,
whole thing or
yeah, it's gonna be the whole thing like right away.
mm,
I think it's like 5 hours
wow,
total, four and a half, five up, and then like 3 hours down. So yeah, overall it's gonna be over 8 hours.
pretty hardcore stuff. So
Yep. Hopefully I'll be celebrating a Falcons win up there because we're going after the Steelers game.
yeah,
Not right after, but like a couple days after the Steelers
yeah,
game.
yeah. That sounds good. I mean, it sounds better than what I'm gonna be doing after the Steelers game, which I guess maybe we're celebrating a win. That would be okay, but Man, can you imagine if they lose that Steelers game? They lose to Arthur Smith
Oh
in
my
week
god.
1. Yeah. You're probably happy that you won't have to be here for that. So.
Man, they'll be staring 0-3 in the face if they lose that Steelers game.
Yeah. Yeah, probably will go 0-3 if they lose that Steelers game. So
Yeah,
they
'cause
need to win that Steelers game. Yeah.
they got the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yeah. No, you gotta win that Steelers game, I guess is the short answer to all this. You gotta win that Steelers game. So
Yeah, it definitely is like if the team is 1-2, in any combination, then it's like okay, like the schedule lightens up. If it's 0-3, I'm not going to be in a panic, but you know, the margin for error is going to be very, very small. And then if they go 0-4, then it's like okay,
yeah, if you lose to the Saints, then that's
you're 0-4. The panic meter is like going very, very high.
Yeah. So let's hope they avoid that nightmare scenario and they steal a game in those first 3 and then beat the Saints to get back to 500, and then hopefully we can cruise from there. But we'll see. Nothing's easy in this league. There's no gimmies. So
Especially against the Chiefs. I mean,
yeah.
the Eagles too. That's what, week 2. That's on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Yep, Monday night, week 2. That'll be exciting. And then Sunday night, week 3. Get back-to-back primetime games. When's the last time that happened?
I mean, when's the last time we've had one total in the last 2 years? So
yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, back-to-back primetime's probably been who knows how long. So, and they'll probably give them more. I mean, if the team's good, they'll probably get more later in the year. So,
I mean, they could easily lose that Raiders game too. If the Raiders are terrible.
Yeah, and then they might just move it to. They might just give them a different game. But yeah, the Raiders are going to be terrible. So. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Did they just name Minshew?
Yes, they did.
Okay. I mean,
Minshew madness.
Probably a little bit of an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell. I don't know if it'll be enough to convince me to take Devontae Adams in the second round of a fantasy draft, but
You're taking Devontae Adams because he's getting traded somewhere, and you're hoping that that's going to unlock his true value later. I don't like playing that game though. So. Yeah. Somebody else can inherit that headache.
The same thing where like Brandon Ayuk is also like a very big question mark for me, because if he stays, then it's like okay, but it's still like a lot of it's the same like sort of issue as like last year. It's a lot of mouths to feed in that 49ers offense, even though it doesn't look like Ricky Pearsall is going to contribute right away with that shoulder injury. But it's like I think it's like the opposite effect of what if Ayuk goes to like the Steelers?
Yeah.
Then I think that sort of tanks his value.
Oh yeah, his value's destroyed. Like he's not having any. I mean, we've seen what Arthur Smith does to receivers, so which is part of the reason I can't believe they would actually like trade for him. Like seriously, like you're gonna go all in to get this guy Arthur? Like after you spent years showing us how little you care about wide receiver, like. So I don't know. That would be a bizarre move in my opinion, but. Yeah.
Well, good for the Falcons. They're showing the dead money the last 3 seasons, going from the most to the least within a 3-year span.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I will say that is one thing that Fontenot has done very well, of just like untangling the cap mess that Thomas Dimitroff left behind.
Yeah.
And I mean, Thomas Dimitroff has not found another job since, and I know he has wanted one. So I feel like a lot of teams saw the way it ended in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Dimitroff's one of those guys where I will give him credit for some of his moves in Atlanta, but that's one of those where Matt Ryan has literally saved so many jobs. And I feel like he extended Dimitroff's like run with the Falcons by at least like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Okay.
All right.
It's 31-0. We got 8 minutes left in this game. We could be done by 10.
Just keep on keeping on with this run game.
Oh, well, the run game by the Jags right now, they are kind of gashing us right now.
And who's making these like projected like depth charts? They have Judon listed as an interior defensive lineman. Uh
I'm
okay.
telling you that's why our play-by-play was superior, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because it's like we actually know what the roster is. We know it's good. We were literally both at camp like every year,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, we definitely like yeah. I'm not gonna get into it.
I'm not getting into this. Yep. 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 Yep.
Hey, there's a nice stop.
Yeah.
Hell of a play, tackle for a loss by number 46 Jackson. I should know who that is. I don't know who that is. Great job by the Falcons snuffing out the screen path there,
Yeah. Good stuff.
forcing the. Well, I think they're gonna punt, or are they gonna go for it?
I don't know. Probably a pretty long field goal.
We got a punt coming in.
Got a punt coming.
Not a big punt.
Big old punt.
I don't think the Falcons are gonna win this game. Hot take.
Are you sure? Yeah. I don't
Hot take.
know.
Call me a hater if you want.
Yeah.
This is such bad football.
It's
Like
pretty
this is
bad.
such
It's
bad
pretty bad.
football.
I don't know why he didn't return that also, number 81. Like, there wasn't anyone, like, near him. Not that it would have mattered, but yes.
Won't lie, Brandon. Good for an A, but there's a reason all these guys are playing in quarter 4 of the last preseason game.
Yeah.
But even if not for the Falcons, they are showcasing themselves to others.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got a Zaxby's commercial going on right now.
Hell yeah.
Had some like a few weeks ago. I don't know. It wasn't very. This isn't the first time I've had Zaxby's. It just sort of feel like it's worse than it was before.
Yeah. It's not its peak anymore. There was definitely like a period where Zaxby's was pretty good.
Yeah, the chicken was a bit more dry. Like the fries are still very good, but they're not. They were like so elite. Like I think Zaxby's fries were like the best before.
They were pretty good.
You know, that's back during the days of the birthday cake milkshake.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
just was like diabetes in a cup. But I
Mhm,
did. I
mhm.
think I got it like a couple times. But um, just like for time reference, like back during those days, Zaxby's was like so elite.
Yeah. It was good stuff, man. Big fan of the Zax back then.
No, the Zaxby's sauce is very
Still
good.
really good. Yeah, still really good.
It
For
is
sure.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a Chick-fil-A guy though.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any up there, do you?
We have one in Syracuse actually. It got
Really?
built a few years ago. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I'm
Yep.
happy for you.
So we do have that. We don't have any Waffle House. That's my biggest complaint.
No, we have a Waffle House on every corner down here in
I'm
George.
well aware. I take full advantage every time I'm down there.
Like, there's so many. Every single high school has its own Waffle House down here.
But
Chick-fil-A is another one of those. So don't want to talk with my mouth full. Um, so Chick-fil-A, if you've ever been to a Hawks game, and I've been to many, many over the years, very many. I've missed 7 in the last 7 years. So I've been to like 230 in that time. But what the Hawks have done, they have that partnership with Chick-fil-A where if the opposing team misses 2 free throws at the very end of the game, everyone gets a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich who was like there in the arena. And let me tell you, the arena is the loudest by far when the other team is shooting free throws. And when they miss the first one, like it is 10 times louder than at any other point, like in the game. Like fans go absolutely like nuts, absolutely crazy for it. Um, this is just for home games, Matt Tomke. This is just for Falcons home games where the opposing team has to miss the 2 free throws. So what I missed back in the day, now it's all digital, right? So pre-COVID, the way that they would do it was if the opposing team misses 2 free throws, they would give you Chick-fil-A cards, like a card where it's like get 1 free chicken sandwich. And now it's like you have to go into the Chick-fil-A app and like you have to like register that you were like at the game and stuff. And the chicken sandwich is only good the next business day. Whereas with the cards, the sandwich will be good for the next like 6 months.
wow.
It would not expire for like 6 months. And I had a guy like up front who I was like really like good with, where like I would like leave very late. I'd say like so any like leftover Chick-fil-A cards, he would like sometimes give me like 4 or 5 like all at once.
Pretty
And
tight.
like yeah, and there was like one year where I like had literally like 10 of those cards and like I'm ashamed to say like a couple of them like ended up expiring on me, but I had like a lot of like I had a lot of free chicken sandwiches like for a couple of years there
Nice,
because
nice.
yeah, so yeah, that's my Chick-fil-A story. I gave a couple out to like some homeless guys as well, which was cool to like have that too. But yeah, it was yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss that about Hawks games now that I'm not gonna go to as many.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I don't know. There is there any hope for this fan section with this rebranding, or is that just a bunch of malarkey?
They said they're gonna rebrand it. I've let it for years and they haven't given me any details about it, so it tells me that it's gonna be something like completely different because I feel like the members of the group would have been told if would have been like given any details or like told about it if it was going to be anything similar. So I have no idea like what it's going to be. The first I heard about the rebrand was like on Twitter,
Yeah.
like when Chris Lamore like tweeted it. So yeah, I have no idea. I'm not counting on like anything substantial.
No, they
That,
seem to not really care at this point. So yeah.
but yeah, very very heartbreaking for me personally. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. We move, we continue, and we put all of our hope in the Falcons now.
Yeah. Not former OC Mike Malarkey. This is different Malarkey, but yeah. Yep. Yes, we see Spencer Brown get stuffed on like 3 straight runs. The Falcons couldn't get 1 yard to get the first down there, and they turned it over on downs. So didn't really have a whole lot of chance, Spencer Brown. I believe he had to dodge like 3 guys in the backfield to even have a chance. Don't love that they ran a toss play to get 1 yard on 4th and 1. But hey,
Man,
I hope they're just trolling with all these run plays because like they're like running on every like second and long opportunity. They're like doing toss plays on 4th and 1. Like, is this like an elaborate troll? You're like,
By the way, toss plays. What's better when you need like a couple inches than, you know, putting the ball in your running back's hand like 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage and being like,
just
okay,
make it
go ahead.
so he's gonna have to dodge like at least 2 guys to even get back to the line of scrimmage. Great stuff there. So
I feel like we've done a good job getting through this fourth quarter. We barely
this has
talked
been a
about
rough
the
one. Yeah, this has been a rough. There's basically zero intrigue here. So yeah.
I'm running out of chips too.
Oh no.
Okay though.
It's
I should
desperate moments.
I should not be having these chips this late. I just had an early lunch.
We just talked about how we gotta, control our intake. So
You're not wrong, but normally I only eat twice a day. So this counts as dinner for me.
okay, just
This
chips. Yeah.
just chips, not good. Not good. Very very calorie dense. Not anything like good that comes out of it. That plus the strawberries I had in the first half. But I ran out of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
don't know
folks.
how
We're almost
67
there. We're almost
I
there.
don't know I'm not gonna lie, I shouldn't be saying this. I don't know how 67 of y'all are still watching this.
Shout out to you guys, really. You're the
Yeah,
real
shout out
heroes.
to you guys for sure, but it's like we are literally just like for the past quarter, we have just talked about the most random shit. We're not even talking about the Falcons anymore.
No, there's really
It's
nothing relevant to be
quarter,
gained
guys.
at this point. Yeah. Um, this team has lost. I think all the players have kind of stopped caring. So, yeah.
Yeah, like everyone on the field right now, I would say maybe won't make the team.
Probably not. Yeah, but there's some guys taking knees and feeling the grass and all this. Like for a lot of these guys, I mean, honestly, this is the last time they're going to be on an NFL field. So,
I actually love that, Vlad. Man, he said he just turned off the game and just started listening.
more entertaining. Yeah, yeah. Have to change our tune on how nutritious those chips are when Doritos comes knocking with that sponsorship. Yep, there you go.
I'm
When that
saying,
day
bro.
comes, we'll be ready.
Hey,
So
hey, well, we need to get Evan on that. Evan's the entire reason why I got those Twizzlers. Like he went to Twizzlers and he's like, you know, can we like get something for this?
hmm let's go, guys. Give me that sweet sponsorship, or at least chips, some kind of chips.
Music preferences. Okay. Now I have not made it a secret. I am very big into Taylor Swift. Huge Taylor Swift fan. Massive. I think she has won my Spotify Wrapped the last like 3 or 4 years in a row. I have this skill. So what I used to do, the other stuff, I like listening to Bosnian music. I'm Bosnian, ex-Yugoslav rock. But what I used to do back in the day when I was commuting was previously I had like a 2007 Nissan Versa. It was my first, or yeah, it was my first car when it was like used. It was like a little bit run down, but I rode that car for like a while through college. Like I commuted to college. So '07 cars have no Bluetooth. So I had no Spotify, I had nothing. All I could listen to in the car was either the radio, which really got old, like really got tiring. And the other thing I had was just straight Taylor Swift CDs, which I like just got myself. So I listened to that shit so much to the point where up until like the newest album, or like a couple albums ago, I like developed a skill where if you give me like any song, I can give you the exact album and the exact track number on that album, just from how many times I like went through all of those CDs.
Yep. No, it's that's impressive stuff right there. That could be a true superpower even. So you got to be careful with how you utilize something that impressive.
I'm saying shit. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, we are at the 2 minute warning. Mercifully at the 2 minute warning.
Oof, we're getting real close here, folks. Is
We are
tantalizingly close. Yeah.
we are running on fumes, guys. We are
Yeah.
running on fumes.
The preseason almost over. We've nearly made it.
especially
Like,
this
subscribe,
preseason.
all that stuff, you know?
At least when starters are playing, it's like, okay, we can, you know, see the starters. But man, this preseason has been it.
I think we're gonna get a really lame preseason under Raheem Morris. Adnan. This seems to unfortunately be what's gonna happen unless something changes.
Look, if they win 12 games, do whatever you want.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
Win,
yeah, if you're winning double digit games, I can
win
deal
12
with a
games.
boring
I'm not gonna
preseason.
say shit next year. Like I
Yeah.
promise. Like I'm not gonna say shit about the starters or whatever.
Yeah.
I may. I
I
may
may
just
still,
because
yeah,
of
yeah.
keyboard. Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah.
But win 12 games and it'll be like, okay, this is great. Even though they do have a very light schedule. But take advantage of it. You didn't take advantage of it last year.
Yeah. No, I mean, I they need to. They need to. They and like I think it's going to be a rough September, but I think if they can get that Steelers win week 1 and then get that Saints win week 4, then it's totally fine. But
Two and
if
two going into that Thursday night against Tampa.
I
Like,
think
well, we'll sign up for that right away.
I think we
Shit.
need that. I think we need that. And if they get that, then I think the sky's the limit for this team. But and if
Yeah,
they
if they're 1-3, then it's like, okay,
yeah, um
okay. Um,
looks
but
like we're in
it's gonna
victory
be.
formation. Thank God.
I feel like it'll be that 3-week stretch: New Orleans, Tampa, and Carolina, where three division opponents. You go 3-0 in that stretch, and it's like, okay, like everything is right.
Yeah. Yeah. I and then like that last like after the bye week, you can stack up wins at
Oh
that
yeah.
point. But
Oh, the
yeah.
schedule looks really light down the stretch. Like Minnesota, Vegas, the Giants, Washington, Carolina. The Chargers, even Denver, pre-bye week, New Orleans before that. Oh my God! Like you have a gift. Like there is a gift of a schedule in front of you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think you just got to get through that first month like with at least one win and preferably 500. But as long as you get a win, and if you can only get one win, then obviously beat the Saints. But I think you need to be able to beat Pittsburgh week 1 or there's going to be some panicking. You can't let Arthur Smith come into your house and beat you in week 1. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. Not after how bad that team has looked like in the preseason. So
Okay, yeah. The clock is hit double zeros.
there we
We
go, Adnan. We did it. We survived. We survived. We made it. Made it to the end of the preseason. Thanks to everyone for hanging out with us on this journey, I guess. Whatever you want to describe it. It's been a real one tonight, especially where the Falcons just made no effort whatsoever in this game, and I think that's kind of how they view the preseason in general. So, yep. Shout out to all 64 that made it. Please like, subscribe, everyone. Leave that 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Give us, like I said, if you want to get in on these fantasy leagues, please sign up as soon as possible, either on Patreon or on the YouTube channel memberships, because we're going to be closing the signups imminently. So just last warning on that stuff. But we will be back with some shows next week. I'm not sure if we'll have a live next week. I don't think we will, just because I'll be traveling that day. But we'll be back and getting totally hyped for week 1 as well. The following week. So preseason officially over for Atlanta. It's now time to prepare for the regular season and initial roster cuts and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Adnan, Ikic is my co-host at Say Which Way. Anything you want to let the people know about, Adnan?
Yeah, check out the Falcoholic.com. Your one-stop shop. I'm contractually and legally obligated to say that. And also, yeah, if we're not having a show this week, then I'm not gonna be back because I'm not gonna be here leading up to week 1. So I guess
Okay.
I'll see y'all between weeks 1 and 2 then. Um, I think no, wait. No. I'll see y'all between weeks 2 and 3. I'll be back that Saturday before week 2.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah.
okay. All right, so thanks for the advance warning that I got to find some fill-ins for the Wednesday show, but that's professional stuff right there. We get plenty of opportunity. So,
Yeah, no, for
thanks.
sure. Hey,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you this in front of everyone right now, by the way.
Yes,
You know,
that's it's very straight up, very very honorable, very honorable. Um, yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next time on the Falcoholic Live and on the Dirty Birds and Brews podcast. I'm Kevin. I have Falcoholic Kevin. He's on Ikic at Say Which Way. Thank you guys so much for joining us here for this third final, mercifully, preseason game of the 2024 season.
hey, shout out to the NFL for not making us do this for a fourth week. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's streamline that 18th game and let's get this shit down to two.
Yeah,
preseason.
I was done after the second one, honestly. So I think we can all move forward on that one. But thanks so much, guys, for hanging out with us. We will see you next time on the Falcoholic Live. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you soon. Have a great night, folks.